Let's take our time right now, it's just a vibe with you. I feel alive, now I'm feeling like her to the fine, will it stand the test of time right now? I need a sign. Tell me if it's over, come a little closer. We should take our time to think this damn thing over. Should we grow closer? Should this be over? My heart for your mind, probably we should start over. Tell me if it's over, am I your lover? Are we going solo? Or is it polo? Her face is saying don't go. I'm acting like I don't know. Whisper my name, say what you want, show me your thoughts. I do the same. My breath on your neck while I slowly caress. Feelings in gray, it's still the same. Tell me if it's over, come a little closer. We should take our time to think this damn thing over. Should we grow closer? Should this be over? My heart for your mind, probably we should start over. Tell me if it's over, am I your lover? Are we going solo? Or is it polo? Her face is saying don't go. I'm acting like I don't know. Tell me if it's over, come a little closer. We should take our time to think this damn thing over. Should we grow closer? Should this be over? My heart for your mind, probably we should start over.
Will you follow me under when I'm crumbling? Every night I wonder, will it ever end? Sometimes I can barely breathe, dear. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Demons always bother me. I'm leaving, but they follow me. Will you follow me under when I'm crumbling? Every night I wonder, will it ever end? Sometimes I can barely breathe, dear. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Will you follow me under? Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here.
from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper. Fallen, broken, a million light years away from home. My eyes opened, and now I've come to claim life. Never let it go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. 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 Found me in the darkness. Now they see me shining. Calling me a goddess. Thunder and the lightning. I'm falling, I'm faster. Making my way back, I'm close to home. I'm fighting harder because I've come to claim my throne. Never let it go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. I'm running through the fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. And I live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn.
No pulse and all alone. Time's not kind and it won't let go. No thoughts left in my head. My mind's not mine and it won't forget. But you bring me back from my darkness black as the soul in me and the heart I have for you. It bleeds for you, it beats again. Oh, you bring me to life. 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 Bring me to life.
They say this fight isn't what it seems. Yeah, shoot 'em all down when my demons rise. Couldn't win, so I joined their side. Breathe it in till the day I die. And even if I'm broken, I'm cold but my blood's not frozen. Fire, fire, burn. I'm dying for you, I'm a wildfire. I'm dying for you, I'm a wildfire. Don't you know I'm a bad little mama? I got moves like Madonna. Don't tell me cause I move when I'm gonna. I'm not afraid to lose, I am a prima donna. Don't you see I'm a winner, I'm a queen. I cause no scene if you work with me. Don't stop me cause I fight when I wanna. I'm not afraid to lose, I am a prima donna.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up. against the wall. Still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball. I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call. I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. What your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. We are fearless when we fight and not afraid to level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
I don't want your empathy, I just want another enemy. I'm not gonna change a thing for you. I'm over middle ground, and I really wanna burn it down. I'm not your friend, and I won't pretend I am. So don't reach out, and I mean that. I'm under siege, and I need you to see that. You're on one side, I'm on another, and we will wage war upon each other. I'm no angel, you're not either. I'm at a fever pitch, you're at a leisurely pace. I'm unscathed, I'm unafraid. A warm welcome to the war game.
Welcome to the war game.
You're no ally of mine. Your life is a kind of lie, and I know that I won't change your mind. We have no common ground, and we're never gonna figure it out. So don't get friendly, get angry. I'll bury you down by the bar. So don't reach out, and I mean that. I'm under siege, and I need you to see that. You're on one side, I'm on another, and we will wage war upon each other. I'm no angel, you're not either. I'm at a fever pitch, you're at a leisurely pace. I'm unscathed, I'm unafraid. A warm welcome to the war game.
ESL 1 Cologne Online is brought to you in part by Intel, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, and GGBet.
These are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
Alright, good evening everyone and welcome back for another day of ESL 1 Cologne. We have the semi-finals now between Chaos and Team Liquid. And boy am I hyped. Mike, of course, is going to be joining me. I'm Dean and it's going to be said, I'm incredibly hyped, but I'm across the Atlantic, Mike. You're over there, you're an American. I can't imagine how excited you are right now as we get live into this game.
I am. I'm thrilled. To be honest, when both these teams, when individual players on both these teams got the promotion up, obviously Chaos have announced that they're going to be competing in Pro League next season. Grim just got picked up by Liquid. It was a little bittersweet of a moment for me because I've watched these players through so much of their career. I wasn't sure the next time I'd get to cast them. Turned out it was very soon. So Liquid going to be starting on the T side of Inferno, and Chaos on the defense here to start things off here.
We're good now. I just had there was a small tech issue. My bad.
Oh.
I'm producing and casting at the same time.
Always an adventure when you're in production and casting. Now, to set the scene for you folks a little bit, these two teams have met before, quite recently, in the DreamHack event, and they had the exact same veto. We've got Inferno to start off, then Mirage is the map pick of Chaos, and then we'll finish out on Nuke. And the last time these two teams met on Inferno, it wasn't such a good showing for Chaos. They wound up stepping away with a 16-8 scoreline on the wrong side of that. So Liquid definitely the top dog here, definitely the favorites. And it's going to be up to Chaos to prove to us that they've got it, that they can really compete. They've been taking some big scalps. This may just be the biggest one yet. Tats as they come into the site, but no connections just yet. Zeppel pushed out from Newbox by a Molotov. Steel coming through the smoke will get a bit of an answer, so he keeps the numbers even at the very least. But now the smokes are down. The post plant is assumed. That bomb is planted, and things are looking fairly good for Team Liquid.
Indeed, a positive being, of course, the kit available for the CTs right now, and apparently some opening kills as well there from Steel. He won't go on for too long before being dropped quickly in return by Elige, and yeah, just being swept up at this point by Liquid. It is all left onto Leaf right now, 1-on-3 Liquid. They don't have to give him an inch, and they definitely shouldn't with the help that's available. But they just take the peak together. The head is removed, and there it is. Team Liquid, they open things up with that pistol round going in their favor. And I guess one thing, of course, we do need to actually go ahead and talk about a bit is how the VO has gone down. In terms of the actual maps that came out, I don't think too many people are going to be surprised that we end up seeing Inferno, Mirage, and then Nuke as the decider. Even the two initial bans, I would say, were kind of as expected. Really, this VO was just done down to the T.
It really was. Very straightforward. Both these teams have a perma. Chaos, they ban Vertigo in 95% of scenarios. Liquid take Train out. The only risk, the only deciding factor was whether Chaos might want to change things up from the last iteration, maybe throw in a Nuke pick in there somewhere, change things just a little bit. But they opted to go with the known territory and see if they couldn't mix things up to find a new look. Two Novas in this buy. That's a new look. That is unusual. This is a team that likes some of the unorthodox buys. You'll see Steel break out the dualies quite frequently, but Novas, well, I don't know that I've seen Novas in a comp match in a long time here, Dean.
Yeah, not that I can recall of either. Maybe we might have had like one of them or something recently in that CIS qual we done for New York, but that's CIS Counter-Strike, so that's kind of to be expected. But yeah, it doesn't look like over in the apartments, at least, that Vanity is going to get a chance to do much with his. Steel's already wrapping back around over towards B, so he is going to be grouped up with two of his teammates to actually have a bit of a stack here on the hold. And what the hell is going on? How is John G able to get that? Apparently, Auto Director isn't actually following these for us. But as I say that, a couple of kills being found back. Twists recovers one at least. And it is only right now Vanity on that bomb site. The Nova, though, up close, he could certainly cause considerable damage. And with the T's initially being separated, he is being given the chance here to take these fights. Gets one before falling. And now it's the 3-on-2. They're completely surrounded. There's just nothing that can be done. Naf, he's fighting for his life and has managed to retrieve a rifle.
Oh my! He gets overwhelmed. Steel with the found Galil manages to clean it up. That's insane. What a round to answer back with for Chaos. And that clearly shows that they are not going to play things out to orthodoxy here. They're not going to take this game plan normal. They're willing to change things up so early on, breaking out the Novas. And the added benefit, of course, with the shotguns is you get $900 as a kill reward. So Vanity got that one kill with the Nova. That's extra money that he's now breaking into an M4 full utility here. Almost full utility. He's missing the molly, but it's close. And now they've got a substantial buy, and Liquid, meanwhile, off that reset, are forced into this force. They've got a Galil, though. They've got some upgraded pistols. This is Team Liquid. There's always the possibility that they answer it back, but that's not a good start, and that's the rifle now down. Steel's done what he needed early on. He's asserted himself in towards mid. He's dropped 2 bodies. Yes, they'll be able to retrieve the gun, but they're already set back in a round that was going to be tough from the get-go, and this is a great crossfire now for Liquid. They are ready for this push-out. They should have it. Steals the insurance policy. Leaf's first contact. Leaf has to find one. He does indeed. Steel follows it up, but Twist, the lone survivor, he's got a deagle in hand. The pillar is blocking the head, but eventually Twist does find that tasty soft dome. Now the question is, can he get a plant off of it? Should have the timing for it. I think Zeppa's just a step too far behind to deny this. And now Twist might be able to slink back into a post plant. If he gets into pit, this gets very tough indeed, but they catch him on the cross and they deal with it. It's an expensive round, but considering they just won the force buy and considering Liquid fully invested into this one, that should be A-okay. The bomb plant might give them a bit more to fight with in the next, but Chaos for the time being have bought themselves a little security.
Yeah, as you said, expensive, but it doesn't matter. They're going to have a bit of a chance now to build up that economy, most likely. In theory, because of the bomb plant, Liquid could consider a force buy, but that would be quite crazy at this point. They likely are to just take a few upgraded pistols, and at least keep him with the chance of taking a few weapons again out of their hands. Just ensure that going into that first gun round, that Chaos are not going to be feeling too comfortable with money in the reserve, knowing that maybe they can take more risks than they normally would because they have that ability to rebuy. So yeah, we'll see if they can keep the pressure on. A much more secure investment this time as well from Chaos, it does have to be said. Going straight for 3 rifles, a couple of MP9s that can go and try and actually feed some money, including on Vanity, of course. That's going to be pretty handy to build up his bank.
Oh my.
And nades-wise, there is a lot as well to work with. They've used a bit for that aggression, but for now, Vanity, he's actually being bypassed. He's going to be able to catch Naf coming up out of the underground. But Elige moving back in. Can they get the trade? They can indeed. One goes down. Again, though, just the MP9. So we'll see if they can actually manage to achieve anything now off the back of that kill. And they are. Leaf gets overwhelmed on the bomb site. It's been recovered slightly around long, but that's just enough to keep them in the 3-on-3 now to set up for the retake. Liquid, they've got a bomb plant and 2 kills already. This is fantastic.
This absolutely is. They just managed to find the gaps in the spacing that was set up here from Chaos and exploit them. Obviously, when you go for that deep bench play, there is the potential to circumvent it through apps, and that's exactly what happened, and it could not have gone better for Liquid, to be quite frank. So the question is the recovery going to come in here? Already a successful round if you're on Team Liquid. You have no real concerns, but you'd like to win it. Twist is going to do exactly that. There's a kill coming in, but they need more. Janji's done it. Steel cleans it up. 2 survivors. So they get out of it. They'll be able to get that defuse. They'll be able to paper over the wounds they've suffered in this round. But now you've got Liquid coming in full force. They've got that bomb plant. They know they did damage. They know they've let blood from Chaos. And if they can punish in this round, now they'll take what was a bona fide good start for Chaos and quickly start to snuff it out.
Yeah, definitely hasn't allowed for Chaos to build up that comfort, but a positive is they've still got the 3-1 lead early on, so if they can get this open and gun round here on the Chaos side of things, they will be off to a flying start. And you had even mentioned it before we went live, that sometimes this is something that Chaos struggle with, being able to get those early rounds, but right now, even if they've been a bit iffy, they are certainly doing it. But let's see, Liquid, they are out on the full buy. There's no op, not surprising on the T side of Inferno, not surprising in the first gun round either. Nades-wise, though, they do have most of what they need to work with, but they're not going to be using a lot early on, at least not in the initial seconds. They let Chaos expend some of their nades towards Banana instead, and then actually returned with some HEs that done a bit of damage onto Junji. Not too bad.
Now, this seems to be a bit of a slower start, so we can talk about some of the critical insight we got from the game chat between these two teams before the game went live. They were discussing the strats in Among Us. They were discussing Among Us strats and map favoritism, so clearly they've been putting in some server time to practice here. These players, I know some of them actually play the game with each other, so there's some familiarity here. Whether that carries over to the CS server, probably not. You never know. Maybe Among Us will have trained them to call some bluffs. For now, it seems no bluffs. Relatively straightforward from Liquid. They set up to see if Chaos would give them some aggression, give them something to work with, give them a pick that might guide their hand. But instead, just Zeppa info hopping now by the half wall. He's going to back off. They're committing a player to the sandbags. That'll be Jonji, who presumably is going to be played off of by Steel and Zeppa, but they've actually kind of left him out to dry. He is way far back. Stewie's going to clean this. They've got to throw a flashbang or something to give him an option, but Stewie backs into it. That's 2 kills. What is this? They completely forgot about the angle, and now Jonji's going to turn it into a third. What a result. Jonji from the sandbags, completely overlooked, and he nearly finds more. Naf now limping. And Team Liquid have just been annihilated by one man standing out by the sandbags and just thwarting all of their plans in this round. They don't even have time. They have 5 seconds. They have to save here, Dean.
That was insane. As you said, they basically left Jonji out to dry by dropping back onto the bomb site with 2 players. It was kind of a base setup. You do rely on him at least getting 1 kill so that then they walk into the 2 players still stacked up on the bomb site. 2 is ideal, but no, he goes one even better. Comes out with 3 kills. As you said, delays for so long that at that point there just was no choice for Liquid to get back into the round because the time was gone. Absolutely fantastic by Jonji. Fantastic here for Chaos as well, being able to lead 4-1 early on. And importantly, doing so on their opponent's map choice.
We had a chance a little bit, had a bit of a chance to catch
up
with MC before the game. Vanity! He was full blind. He went for the timing shot, but Steel, there was miscommunication there. He was pushing down mid. He puts a bullet in the back of Steel's brain. Okay, well, there we go. Let's see if Chaos can reset that. They've wiped my brain as well with that shot. But you still got a round to play out. It's a bit of a limited buy for Liquid. Can you recover here? Taking top banana control. They've been gift-wrapped the opening kill of this round without having to fire a bullet. Now, Dean, can they see it through?
Yeah, definitely helps them a lot. I'm sure they're going to be feeling ecstatic about having that early pick without having to do any sort of work for it. As well as, of course, being able to actually this time get the full banana control for themselves early on. It does look like Jonji is considering maybe re-aggressing there, but no one was in a position to toss in a flash for him, so he does back off, which is holding close to the smoke initially, but pretty soon they are going to realize that it's the full A hit that's coming in. It seems like even though they know it is just going to have to be a save that's called for. The 4-on-5 with so few nades, with not a single point of damage having been done, it does make sense, let's be real, for them to go ahead and save over Vanity. That happens, that's very unfortunate, and he will have enough money to go ahead and drop over the steal in this next round as well to make up for it just a small bit.
I like the fact that they have the presence of mind to just pull the ripcord on that one. Okay, we did a dumb, we did a massive dumb, and it really puts us in a situation where it's not favorable to recover. So we stack one site. If they run into that, we got a good chance to fight. If they don't, just let them have this one. Get back into it in the next, guys. It's don't shoot Steel in the back of the head this time, and everything will be a little bit better. So as you said, plenty of money for him to drop over, plenty of money for everybody to invest up into utility. This should be the best gun round from both sides that we have. Apart from the Galils that will be brought over, there should be no limitations for either side. This is where we really get a chance to see if Chaos, without killing one of their own, can stack up against the full Liquid onslaught, because that's what's coming into this round. This is the chance for Liquid to really turn the screws. They won't be able to go for the full reset, likely, of course, because of the 4-man save in the previous, but they'll be able to do substantial damage to the long-term game plans here of Chaos. Vanity going to take a different angle, not going for that aggressive mid-peak, because he does not want to kill, well, his teammates. He won't get a chance to kill his opponents either as a result of that. But again, it seems like Liquid are content to bunch up, avoid that initial utility out banana, and then start to poke in, start to see what they can find. I like this late molly, and a second as well. Stewie going to go ahead and smoke that to get out of the angle, wary of a peek from Carr. And that is a ton of utility burned in the beginning, but I think Liquid have come out on top. But look at this aggression. Jonji comes flying in. It does not work out, and Stewie takes a second as well. An upgrade available here. Now he's going forward. The onslaught is here. Steel tried to shut the door before they could get through, but all he loses is his life. This round is a wash. Vanity, the last to survive. He's just got to tuck and hide this up, but it's so much time left on the clock, a full minute here. They are going to hunt. They're starting to encircle him, and they've drawn this dragnet to a close. So he'll try and slip away, but there's just no chance it's going to happen. Hits the first shot, but a second player should be there for the punish. He now knows they're trying to bait out the shot. This is Grim, and he's got that at least. So some damage coming in here, and maybe, just maybe a chance to save the gun. Vanity with a third. This round's not over yet now. He doesn't have a kit, which is a bit unfortunate, but this suddenly went from being a 100% sure thing to maybe an element of risk. Certainly Liquid can't afford to just hunt willy-nilly. He won't have the time to get this, but holy cow, Vanity. 3 big kills to hang on to the big green gun.
Yeah, and I am thankful, I'm not going to lie, that Liquid do give up on the hopes of actually hunting that down, because already losing 3 players, that's pretty costly. It won't impact them right now, but in the long run it could, if Chaos are able to restabilize once they get onto the guns themselves. You had said, obviously, their economy wasn't going to be completely destroyed with losing that previous round there, but even with the up being saved over, they are unfortunately still looking at an eco on everyone. They can get a few pistols, they can get a couple of nades, they actually go for HEs on everyone. Obviously Vanity had saved over, but they get the HEs out on the rest. They get smokes as well, which can allow for these pistols to be a lot more successful, especially if you can actually carry those smokes over into later in the round, then to hold off those choke points, and with that force the T's to come true. But we'll see. The op also still in play. Vanity this time was looking to be a bit more aggressive around mid. Wasn't really being given anything though by Liquid, and that's understandable. They know the op's in play. They don't need to give him anything that isn't necessary right now.
I'm surprised we didn't see the early nade stack, but considering how cautious Liquid have been in the early round to avoid that initial utility salvo, I suppose it makes sense. They're going to hang on to those HEs. They're going to wait till they know where players are, or at least have a good idea, and then try and go for the mortar strike. We see one come in, a second, not very effective. Just a little bit of tickle damage onto Stewie. That's not really the bang for the buck they were hoping for out of this round. But that is top banana control now taken by Liquid in a round that was already going to be limited for Chaos. This is not looking great. Obviously, we don't expect much from them. Frankly, if they can get out of this round with Vanity's op alive, it's not the worst result. A smoke will come in, but it was from the CT side, and everybody has vacated the premises here from the attacking squad. They're going to bail out and head towards A, and this is a very soft A site. This is, I mean, this has been fabric softened, and this has been meat tenderized, whatever you say. There's one player here with a USP. That's Leaf. He's got a smoke. He's got a nade. And he's looking the wrong way as he's going to get killed from the hall. No, readjusts, will get eliminated. Steel did get a kill with a P250 through smoke, but that should be all she wrote. Bomb will go down. Round is won by Liquid. The question just becomes, does Vanity save this off?
Yeah, definitely could be worthwhile again. And with Junji now having an AK in play, that's going to be a pretty big boost. He himself is the one who could definitely do it, that only having 2150. It's going to help out to make sure all the nades will be available, that the kits will be in play as well. And at this point can leave Zeppa as well with that Eagle to see if he can maybe snatch one more away. With that then combined with the damage that Vanity was able to get in that previous round, dropping a few weapons there definitely would make it quite difficult for Liquid to stabilize their own economy. But nah, Zeppa looked like he might have had a chance there to get the drop, but Elige was ready for it. But yeah, no one hunting aggressively this time. They don't try and actually charge those weapons down, knowing that either way the buy is going to be coming out for Chaos. Sure, they would probably recognize that they could have limited the nades a little bit more, but needing to stabilize their own money, that's what they aim for. But here we go. Chaos, they're back on the buy, and it feels like it's been a little while. The first gun round for them went fantastically. Then we had that whole mishap that we just won't mention. Then in the next gun round, Liquid just rolled over them. And it's only now again that they're getting another attempt.
It's almost like that mishap around, you blow a gasket, and you spend all this time retooling the engine, rebuilding, pulling things out, putting things in, figuring out what exactly was going on here. Now maybe you're back on the reset. We'll see, though. Early utility into bedroom. It looked like Vanity was thinking about maybe going for an aggro peek there, so they deny it. They shut it down before it can happen. Steel instead is going to be the contact man. Elige spotted him. Spotted just the bows, but he'll get the head. Steel was trying to back out. The spray from Elige is good. That's a big scalp to find early on. We saw Steel with some impact rounds, some impact kills from that sort of crossfire out by Bracket. Now things get a little rough for Chaos. They've got 2 towards either side. They're playing the buddy system, but having gained ground on top of the half wall, Zeppa will be abandoned. Jonji leaving his comrade behind to solo anchor this in a very tough scenario. Meanwhile, the hit's coming through towards A, but they make the noise. They find the space towards Bracket, and they back out. It's coming back Zeppa's way, and he's fallen off the wall, so this gets risky indeed. A molly to clear out the forward position. And a minute off the clock, just 55 seconds to work with here for Liquid. They're playing this a little close. They haven't really found anything to build on apart from that one kill to this point, but they've grouped up. They're going to trust in the hit. They're going to trust that they can make this work. There is still utility, especially on Vanity, to potentially slow this down and make time really an issue. Just now working their way into hallway. 30 seconds on the clock, folks. Keep an eye on that timer. Things could get hairy, especially as they clear out pit. But here's going to come the hit. Here's going to come the movement, and they get the first kill on Janji, so that makes it better. Couple quick shots, but Vanity, he can only stay alive so long. He did his work. He got 2 kills, but it just wasn't enough. That bomb will be planted, and Zeppa is now put into a clutch scenario, a 1v2. If there was going to be a man to get this done, it would be Zeppa, but he's got no utility. He's got no kit. And they've got all the time in the world to take post-plant scenarios. He'll spot the first, but he doesn't find the head. Grim, a little bit low, but he knows where the player's coming from now, and they could just play the time on it. Zeppa, so many angles to clear. Should know that Alicia's in the pit as well. He is indeed, but knowledge is only half the battle. The shots can't be landed, and Liquid will take the lead.
Yeah, that was played absolutely perfectly right there once they had him caught in the open. As soon as they saw that he had already crossed on towards the bomb site before he could get to any sort of comfortable position, they both swing in, ensure that it is going to be ended. And yeah, with that team Liquid, they've taken the lead. What looked to be a good start here for Chaos is pretty quickly unraveled, unfortunately. They keep being left in these buys here where Vanity just has an op to work with. Obviously, that was because of the fact that he saved the op earlier on, that he does have the extra cash now, so at least having something to try and do the early impact. And we'll see if he can get this opening frag, then it will help them a lot to maybe take the round a little bit easier from that point on. But with the run boost so far, not really being given the chances, and when he does finally, he ends up getting dinked down through the edge of the wall, so that's not ideal.
At least we've finally seen some decent utility damage from the CT side. Liquid have done such a good job of avoiding that initial salvo. They've been playing the time late, but they've been doing... Well. Yes. And now we're seeing them go a little more aggressive. They do eat that nade, but they've got the space as a result of it early on. Minute 15 left. As you said before, it's really just that op that's the threat. That op will be playing back in the graveyard, and that may be an apt name because that's the way it's been going for Chaos. Now, what I will say is, this is already a better CT side than the last time Chaos played Liquid on this map. They only got 2 rounds that time on the defense. But admittedly, it was an ending score of 16-8. So that's not really a performance to emulate. They need a lot more here. They need a lot more on the defending side of Inferno.
Oh yeah, they gave us that bit early on, and yeah, now that you bring the previous score back up, it's definitely something that I'm sure a few people are scared of watching this, but we'll see once they get back onto an actual full investment. Having 3 players right now around A, but as we see Team Liquid making the correct decision, I would say, to actually wrap around too long so that they can have those extra angles, and also so that they can utilize the range advantage they have, of course, with these AKs, and that's exactly what they do. Picking off the heads, Elige there as well to cover off his teammate moving towards Library. Zeppa, though, eventually stealing one away. That's an AK. Immediately trying to back off, but Stewie, he'd already wrapped around through Library, so that wasn't going to be allowed. And at this point, Liquid are really just building up a ridiculous economy. They're not going to be struggling really anytime soon because, I mean, yeah, sure, there's a couple players who are a bit low on money, but they can get dropped over, and then by the time that the actual money starts to really run out for Liquid, they'll have a bit of loss bonus going. So, yeah, Chaos, they just really need to turn this back around right now in terms of the momentum. Again, having the op for Vanity, we'll see if he can find any opening picks this time, if he'll have any more success, or if he'll even attempt it is the question. And the nades, again, not being an issue, but as you said, Liquid, they've been doing a fantastic job at actually avoiding those nades early on, and then still advancing towards the map control afterwards.
Liquid are in complete comfort at this point.
Oh, damn.
Oh my! That's Steel trying to get them off that point of comfort. He nearly does, but unfortunately for him, M4 AK wins that duel every day of the week. Headshot for headshot, Twist comes out on top. So Team Liquid, and we shelled away so much money coming into this, having gotten the opening pick, are again just methodically starting to spread out here. The one difference this time is Janji is all the way deep towards logs. They're jumping to try and make them think that it's a similar hold to what they've been doing with Zeppa. If they don't clear the log pile, maybe we see a repeat of the Janji sandbag round, except a little deeper into Banana this time. But for the moment, it seems like they're coming in. We've seen this from them again, though. They poke top mid, they find that ground, and then they back off. So that's not a guarantee that anything's happening here. The deep smoke, though, might persuade them that this A hit is, in fact, the ticket.
Yeah, a little bit of a spam, at least keeping those 2 players in position over towards Banana, but of course, leaving the opportunity for a quick flank potentially as well. 40 seconds though, smoke's going down, 1 towards the arch, 1 over towards Library as well, and again, setting up this A split, that does seem to be the goal. They actually have Pick completely smoked off as well, making it quite a bit more difficult for especially Vanity right now on the bomb site to do anything, and yeah, scoped in initially on Long. They managed to take out his help that was in towards the pit. At that point, just being completely swarmed, and he tried his luck with the no-scope. Unfortunately, that just didn't work out. And yeah, as we had said, that flank, it was in place to be there extremely quickly, but it still needed those A defenders to at least be coming out with 1 kill each for it to have any sort of potentially round-winning outcome.
I think this is the point where we start to look at the scoreboard and get a little bit concerned with the way that things have stacked up. We're now finishing out the 11th round, and the 2 players on the bottom of the scoreboard are Leaf and Zeppa with 2 kills apiece. Now, that's problematic if you're Chaos, because these are your young guns. These are the players that you look to have those pop-off performances, pull off some nutty clips, some nutty clutches, and get you into rounds, and we just have not seen it happen from either player just yet. And Chaos is not typically built to succeed if neither of these players are having a game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the case with most teams when they have 2 players who normally just frag crazily in every game. You're going to get used to it. It's going to become something that your team maybe relies on a little bit, but it's early enough days. The only thing is the next gun round really is the last chance rather for them to start picking it up into a position where they can still have a respectable CT side. It's already getting out of control at this point. Liquid are very likely going to be putting themselves in a position where they at least have the half win out, with the chance of course to add quite a bit more, and that's after Chaos initially being able to go up 4-1. So yeah, it's really starting to slip away from them. They need to pick it up soon. A couple rifles here though, so you can't count them out completely in this round. I'm sure we've seen many times what even 1 rifle can do in the hands of a CT player when saved over, let alone 2, alongside so many nades as well to actually support it.
Deep push in. This is the change-up. Jonji's trying to catch them off guard, but the flashes are perfect for Liquid, and Stewie will get the kill. Everyone's blind, but it's Jonji who comes up holding the bill. Now, once again, Liquid have gotten an opening pick. It feels like that's something we've said consistently in every round since they started winning is they're so good at winning that initial engagement and putting Chaos onto the back foot. Now they'll do this same play we've seen. They take the top mid control, but now they push through it instead of waiting, instead of reaching back. That nade is good. Grim's now dead. Leaf doing some work. Here's the 5-7 play we expect from Leaf, but 2 is all he can find with the pistol. They've got 2 rifles in the hands of Zeppa and Steel, only 1 set of armor, but in a 2v3, I don't know that Chaos can let this chance slip past them. This is too tempting to go for. They'll be grouping into the halls. They'll be coming out that balcony. Alige should have this locked down, and if not Alige, Naf will be the next point of contact. Alige has been so good so far this game, which is what we absolutely expect from him. See if they can get past him this time. Time's starting to tick down. I don't know if they're going to go for this. Zeppa's now lost his life, so they're definitely not going to. The question is, can Steel slip away? Nice poke in from Stewie to eliminate the threat. He doesn't have time for this ninja. Does he?
Trying to. Anyway, goodness. They've heard the footsteps.
He might. They're coming back around.
Close enough. Surely they can make it.
Oh, if he tucked in just a bit more, maybe. But even then, I think Naf has them. What he does do is kill 2 player to the bomb.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's much going to matter at this point.
I mean, we had already mentioned how the money really wasn't going to be an issue, and that was a couple of rounds ago even. So it's definitely not going to be running out in this half right now for Liquid. They have plenty, but yeah, damn, that must have been so close. The issue was, he didn't even have the extra half a second or whatever he'd need to actually tuck himself in to go for that defuse. He just had to give it a go. Very ballsy from Steel. Not the first of those moments we've seen from him throughout this game so far. But yeah, he fell a little bit short, but this is where hopefully he can start bringing his team back into the winning ways. They have everything they could really need. Kits available across the board, or at least on the majority of players. The nades again are there, and they are going back to this 3-man setup towards the top of Banana in the beginning. Again, Team Liquid, they avoid those nades well. Immediately afterwards then begin to actually get themselves that control in the positions that Chaos may expect to be cleared out. Oh, look at that, over the logs with the flash coming in. Unfortunately, only gets the 1, and through the smoke, Vanity says, yeah, we want a little bit more. Actually dropped the bomb, spotted the leg of Grim coming through as well, and this is just destruction. This is much better from Chaos. I don't know if it's a reliable way to win rounds, but it's working right now.
It was a little madcap, right? It was a little madcap, and they happened to come out on top this time around, but we'll see what Twist and Alige can do damage-wise. Here towards the A site, that's a big miss from Steel. Just couldn't quite line up the head, and he'll lose his life as a result. So now it's a 2v2, and there's still a minute on the clock here, team. Instead of bothering to go back and clear the bomb, they said, all right, let's press forward and clear out who's holding on site. Vanity's in a little bit of a cheeky angle, having come all the way through the underpass tunnel, but he's about to get caught from Twist. There's no way he's getting away from this, and Twist is playing this patient. He has to get the kill. He loses his teammate. A little too slow there, Twist. Playing a bit risky. But Zeppa now has multiple angles to be aware of. That flashbang cues him off to his opponent's position, but Twist is basically 3 ways to attack this. He can go around the back, he can go straight forward. Problem is, he only has 6 points of health, and so he's going to have to be very cautious indeed, and Zeppo withdrawing into banana is perfect here. At a certain point, he can just drop the molly. There is a smoke for Twist, but even with that, there's no sure thing. Twist has now made noise. He is a dead man, and Chaos. Only 1 player survives, but they finally get that 5th round. It has been a long time. 7 rounds in a row for Liquid. Chaos finally back on the board.
Yeah, I mean, but as you said, 1 player surviving, it doesn't leave them with everything that they would want.
It was a 2v4.
Yeah, exactly. They had such a good start as well that it really shouldn't have been coming down to that position. And to be honest, if Twists had gotten that kill half a second earlier on towards Vanity, then it probably would have still been Liquid's round. So yeah, that was a bit too close for my liking. I definitely need to see Chaos step it up here and get these 2 remaining rounds in a much more convincing fashion. Oh, but look at those nades. They will not overlook John G. This time he still gets a kill. 10 health. The flash thankfully did come over, but Vanity, he's at least given time to get into position. Snatches away 1 kill and seems to have, for now, actually delayed that B push. Forced Liquid to reconsider what they want to do with this round, but they have a lot of time to do exactly that.
Pretty incredible that Joji gets anything out of that position. Just considering how close to death he already was and how clearly they were clearing the exact play, right? You don't fool Liquid with the same play twice in a game. The adaptation is too quick. So now Liquid slow it down. They had accelerated the pace, which was definitely the tempo breaker from the way they've been playing this map for the most part. Now they brought it to a 3v3. They're going to slow it right down. That allows Vanity to retake this angle, but he has to clear deep into car, and this is when he's vulnerable. Now he'll get away. I like this readjustment. It does allow them towards top banana, but he's going to play all the way back and spawn, it seems. Is there smokes available? There are indeed. That means Vanity's going to likely be locked out unless he tries to go for the very aggressive play. The rotation will be on here, but he's almost certainly going to have to concede this bomb plant. There is nothing that he can hope to do about this, especially with a molly now behind the smoke.
Yeah, even before the molly went down right there, he'd have to be crazy to actually go forward before his teammates are able to rotate over. They do have Leaf as well coming up through banana, so they've got the multiple angles at least to move in from, but it does rely on these players actually winning out their aim duels, and the first one to be tested, that was Leaf. He unfortunately falls short. Vanity, he has the same outcome as does Steel, taking that long-range fight on an MP9. Oh, that is heartbreaking. Chaos, they get torn apart in that retake right there, and now are left with so little money to actually try and get this 6th round on the half. Obviously, they have to go in for the buy. This is the final round here of the half, but it looks like Liquid are going to be able to bring themselves up to double digits, and again, that's despite Chaos in the beginning being able to actually get that 4-1 lead. They lost the pistol, ended up winning out a force buy in a pretty insane fashion, and then went on a 4-round win streak and have just shown us very little since then.
This is the Liquid that we expect, right? This is the Chaos team. They're the upstarts in this situation. They've been on a hot streak. They've been toppling some teams you don't expect necessarily, but Liquid at the end of the day is a mammoth of the North American scene and absolutely believe that they belong in the finals of this Cologne event. And it's hard to argue with them when they're playing like this. I mean, you've got the incredible performances. Twist is 17-7 right now at the top of the board, but everyone's fragging. Everyone's having a good game. To be quite frank, and it's tough to contest with them when they're polished like this, which is most of the time. Here's going to be the poke around. They've got a little bit of control in towards top bracket. The change up is that they put Vanity on the flower pots, and he nearly punished them for it, but he falls awkwardly between the balconies right as the hit's coming in, and now Leaf will not be able to hold on with just an MP9. This round is over. They are, of course, going to attempt it. It is the last round of the half, so there's no reason not to. But what can they hope to get done? Stewie's going to find Zeppa to begin. It's all on the back of John G now. 1v4. This would be a clutch for the ages. And he's already been tapped through smoke. He's already down quite low. He's gone past a player. FNAF will get it done with the dualies of all things for extra style points. And it is a 10-5 half for Liquid as they just come out dominant in their map pick.
Yeah, and again, despite the initial 4-1 deficit that they were working with, so absolutely fantastic for Liquid. I'm sure they are feeling extremely good about how this is going right now. And Chaos, on the other hand, they've got to be worried. You had said they struggled on the CT side as well in that previous one. So they came out with 2 rounds, so they must have got 6 rounds at least on their T side. So that's not the worst, but at this point needing a lot more than that if they want to actually get the victory here on Inferno. And with that, steal the map away from Liquid. We've got to be real. Mirage coming up next as Chaos's choice is definitely one that you say they should stand a better chance on, but they're against Liquid. It doesn't really matter what map, they are going to have a difficult time.
I think Chaos coming into this likely knew that Inferno was probably a lost cause. In talking to MC before the game, he said they felt like they were due for a good Inferno day, but that's a little bit optimistic coming up against a team like Team Liquid. Mirage, they should have a little bit more to show us. They've been doing some retools. They've been changing some things up. Apparently, there are some things that Liquid likely haven't seen before, certainly haven't seen from Chaos before, so they might be able to catch them off guard. But as we've already seen from Liquid in this map, they're quick to adjust. There was that one sandbag play from Jonji where they got completely overwhelmed, and they never let that happen again, right? They never failed to check one of those corners or to take something for granted on Banana, and Chaos just couldn't get away with it again, and that's what we expect from Liquid. We expect that instant adjustment. Obviously, they've just made a few changes. They brought in Grim as their 5th to replace Nitro, the long-standing member of the team, and they also replaced their coach, bringing in Moses, the man of casting fame, and now in the coaching chair. But it seems that they haven't really missed a beat here. They're very smooth on their communication, on adjusting, on being prepared, and at least here on Inferno, they are the dominant force.
I mean, Twists is 19-7 right now. Elige 12-8, 11-10 for Stewie. When you have those 3 players popping off, that it is to be expected that you're going to be seeing scorelines along the line of this. Yeah, I'm still kind of upset about how that 6th round, I think it was, went down. Where
Vanity shot Steel in the back of the head.
Yeah. That was a little bit awkward, unfortunately, and may have kind of cost them what that kind of bit of initial momentum that they had got going from how convincing the first gun round was. Because we have to remember, obviously, the rounds after winning out the force buy really weren't too clean for Chaos. They were very close when they were up against the weaker buys. Then in that first gun round, they just stomped it out, and yeah, then that happened.
Yeah, it was like they were in a race, two cars racing, and then with a substantial lead coming into the first turn, the Chaos car took a gun out and just shot the tires off.
Yeah, that works as well. Not even just stall it, just blow your own tires. Yeah, no, it did seem to kind of, I guess, deflate them a little bit in terms of the confidence, maybe. They tried to keep it going. We've seen some mad moments even when Steel attempted to push down mid on his own, but it seemed like some of the aggression as well was costing them at times. So we'll see how they actually work now over on this T side. We should be back in just a moment, by the way, guys, at the halftime, just a 3-minute break normally. And indeed, you can see the pause is being removed. The countdown, it is back. The numbers are moving, and the players will be in just a moment as well, as I believe it goes without saying right now that Chaos desperately need this pistol round.
No, what's interesting here is also thinking more about that first half, right? I'm going to say something that might be very obvious, but I'm going to go ahead and verbalize it. Chaos are playing like they're the underdogs, right? They're trying to do a bunch of cheeky stuff to catch their opponents off guard. That sandbags play, the pushes down mid, just the Nova buy. Things to catch their opponents off guard that they might not be expecting, because if they just play normal, if they play their standard setups, they don't have faith that they can beat Liquid here. And it's understandable. This is Team Liquid. But it does speak to, I think, a little bit of their mindset, at least here on Inferno. That nade damage is brilliant early on. Jonji, Leaf, and Steel all catch the brunt of it. Steel barely surviving. The other two not much better for the wear. It's going to be Stewie as the first point of contact. He's got a smoke that he can drop to delay them, perhaps, but he's going to hold on to it. Now it comes out to provide a little bit of space, perhaps, and put the threat into their mind that he could have slipped into the back of sight. This will likely be a Chaos bomb plant, which, considering how much utility damage they ate immediately, is already not a bad show. And they got 5 alive in the post plant. Some barely. They are alive here, Dean.
Yeah, that was desperately needed by Zeppa, and he's just going to keep on fragging, apparently. Not quite achieving the third, but he did do a bit of a damage, at least, on towards the Liege. But yeah, as you had said, that nade damage earlier on. Team Liquid, they may not know exactly how much was done, but I think they have a bit of an inkling as they do move forward. Vanity, though, he's wasting time around the pillar, but it's not enough because his teammates are not able to step up. It's fallen back into the 3-on-1 now, and it's all on Leaf. They don't know he's in the corner, but it didn't matter. They had the angle to body block that defuser, and Elige just keeps on hitting those headshots as he comes out with a quad kill. 11-5 Team Liquid. They are just looking fantastic right now, trying to come through with a statement and say that really it wasn't a fluke the last time they were able to come through with such a convincing victory on this map as well. They are showing that they are the better Inferno team.
No, without a doubt. I mean, that pistol round felt like a tug of war. First, you have Chaos get battered back, but then they take the site, and you see such an effort out from Zeppa. You start to believe, and Elige, he takes that belief, and he just crushes it. Just uses it as fuel for his USP, and oh my goodness, he is so good with that gun. Let's see. We've got the investment here from Chaos. Obviously, they don't have a lot of rounds to work with, so if they're going to force buy here, they need to get it going off this round. Otherwise, you're going to see Liquid up to 13, 14 rounds before Chaos can really muster a fight. And that's just, I mean, that's not a winnable situation most of the time in Counter-Strike. It's certainly not when you're faced off against Liquid. Don't expect to be able to claw back from that kind of a deficit. We do have the SMGs, a bit of a limitation here for Liquid, and they're already down on util. They've now thrown out one of the remaining smokes. They've got one more smoke, one Molotov, one flashbang. And, of course, Dean, the most important piece of util, a decoy.
Oh, yeah, definitely necessary.
What's the decoy strat here? Where do you toss the decoy? Just fake flash it, or is there a specific decoy spot you think they've got lined up?
I don't think there's even going to really be a chance that we're going to see that decoy being thrown out. I think more so he'll be too busy with the flash and the molly in his hands. Although the flash has already been thrown out to try and slow down this push as it's coming in. Indeed, now the molly going to be dropped on short, so I was going to say that'll help out a lot to allow for them to just deal with long at first, but apparently John G, he's going to be the one that comes out on top of the initial trades. And now the Deagle of Vanity coming through with a headshot as well. It gives you some hope, but it seems to be pretty quickly falling apart as Leaf is taken out. And then Vanity's only allowed one more as they rush him down on the bomb site, sticking close in the pack. Getting way too close for my liking, I'm not going to lie, considering they were just up against the force buy, but they get the round win. They do it still with a couple players alive, mainly having a 12-5 lead. It's probably just not something that's going to worry them all that much, especially since they have a chance to make up for it now, going up against only a few pistols at most, I would imagine.
That was a nice play from NAF in the library as well. You could see they were clearly trying to circumvent his position, right? You see players trying to jump through the door frame, just they don't want to take that fight, and they don't necessarily have a smoke for it, which is a problem. That's a missing piece of utility that would have made all of the difference in that round. If they have a Molotov for library or a smoke for library, I think there's a very good chance that Chaos take it, but it wasn't available to them. It was the force buy. They were limited. And NAF takes full advantage. He's got 3 players. First, he takes the 2 through the actual door frame, and then peeking back into the site, takes down the 3rd, and really makes it impossible for Chaos to win out that round. So very nicely done for NAF Line. And we are going to see Team Liquid. We're seeing a pause come in here. Not sure who this came through from. This is Chaos's pause. Makes a lot of sense. They need to get something going here. This is obviously not going to be the round to do it. This is just try and get the bomb down, try and force them into awkward angles, maybe pull off something miraculous. But this next gun round is realistically their last proper chance to get anything going in this map.
Yeah, it really is. Lose the following gun round, and at that point, Liquid will already be on the finish line, pretty much over it at that point almost. Yeah, as I said, a few pistols being upgraded at least. Actually getting a bit more than I expected, going for 2 Deags, a Tech 9, a P250, and then instead of an upgraded pistol on steel, going for a smoke and flashes. So it could certainly give them a chance to try and at least come through with a couple of kills. A bit of damage as well being done initially towards Grim, and Stewie helps out. But pretty quickly, Leaf, he ends up going down. You see the player who's around Arch being NAF again, playing very cautiously. He takes the initial contact, falls back off onto a better angle at that point to ensure he can keep the distance with the M4 and not let the pistols actually overwhelm him. So very well played by Liquid to handle that eco round. And as we said now, this is potentially the last chance for Chaos to get themselves back into this map. Otherwise, they're going to be heading onto Mirage feeling probably a little bit down about themselves, having to come back into the series then with a clean sweep.
Now look, Twist and Elige might be top of the board, but do you know what the most important statistic is in Counter-Strike here, Dean? It's MVP stars. I'll give you the hint. It's MVP stars, and NAF's sitting at the top of the board with 6 of those puppies.
Someone can get a 4K, you can get 1 kill and then defuse, and you get a...
Look, NAF just knows where the impact's at. He knows where it's at. That's back-to-back 3Ks as well in those rounds. Obviously, the second one not so impressive since it was an eco, but it's still essential kills to get. So nicely played from NAF.
You never know what happens if he doesn't, though.
That's true. We are going to see Chaos set their sights here on A. It's a pretty standard setup here for Liquid. Nothing too adventurous. The player back in Graveyard, really the only thing that's at all unusual, if that. Smoke in. They're going to try and catch Twist on the timing. Steel can't quite line it up, and he loses his life as a result. Fair attempt, I suppose, to try and get out ahead of the smoke. It's a risky play, but sometimes risks need to be taken, and Zeppa hits that. I did too, and I had no idea how that spray would have worked, but it's Zeppa instead. Is this wanted?
Unfortunately for Leaf, he's not allowed to escape. His teammate Zeppo was the one who had claimed that kill before as well. I didn't get your reference. I'm very sorry. I missed out on some of them just because...
Bending bullets? Was that terrible mid-2000s you wanted where they bend bullets?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that ages ago. But right now, nothing about bending bullets. They're all going straight, and with that straight into the bodies of these players. I was going to say Favor and Liquid, but Elige does get taken down, and now they can flash in through that long smoke as well, come in from 2 angles, and with that realize that the A-bomb site itself is clear. So the bomb, it is going to be getting planted. And this is certainly one of the better positions we've seen Chaos in so far. Naf, he is in the apartments really early right now, but he doesn't want to use that timing to his advantage, instead ensuring that he's going to be able to work alongside Grim now as he moves up short. Molly going in towards the pit. Both players, though, situated on the bomb site. They deal with the first quickly, and at that point, John G just pinned in the close corner. There really wasn't much to be done. To be fair, if he got that first kill, then there definitely could have been a bit of a chance. He got Grim quite low, but against the MP9 up close as well, that weapon, the rate of fire just shreds through you.
The timing was perfect there, right? Naf goes out. That was Naf on the balcony, right? Or am I losing my mind here already? Point is, the balcony player goes out half of a second before, not even half a second, quarter of a second before Grim. That allows Grim to close distance with the SMG. It's just well-oiled, perfect execution there. And that was really the boot heel coming down on the throat of Chaos. That was their chance, right? And they nearly pulled it off. It seemed like it was a possibility. But at this point, yes, they're going to be able to continue the buys off of the bomb plants, but how many more opportunities are you going to get? You're going to start to see the economy build up for the CT side. That aggressive peek into alt mid nearly works out. Naf has to back out here. That shot would have been the death blow here. The dagger in the back. Instead, it's going to be Stewie to get it. He's got 2. Doesn't make it look good, but he does escape as well. Comes back into the fight. That's a little bold. But hey, 2 for 1 is not a bad exchange. Could have stayed alive with 5. But as it is, Liquid have a massive advantage here in the 20th round of the game.
Yeah, well, to be fair, if he went for any more, his name would be a lie. So
there you go.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure what that retweet was about, but it's probably partly the fact that they're up 14-5, if we're being honest, because, yeah, Chaos, they're left on the back foot right now. Stewie, the 2 kills, it just may be enough to allow them to reach this map point already. A little boost coming in. I think there's so much smoke down that they can't really even get the vision on towards the coffins. You see the one on the bomb site, of course, blocking it. But that is also allowing now for them to creep forward. With that, potentially try and take a fight towards the CT spawn. At least that probably would have been the goal. As we see, though, both players looking to initially play the crossfire from coffins and oranges, and it doesn't work out all that well. Chaos are able to trade this successfully back to the 2v2, and again get that bomb planted. Can they hold it off this time, though, is the question.
The answer to that question has not been favorable to the Chaos side so far this game, but time now starting to get low this time. There's not a lot of utility either. 2 flashes. Fortunately, both players are sporting kits, but those flashes won't connect. The pillar blocks them. Zeppa now has control for the back of sight, but he can't hit the shot. It's all on Leaf. Holding the cross, he'll hit the first. Now Elige knows the situation, but is there anything he could do about it? Just trying to line up here is Leaf. And Elige, oh, he's just going to stick it? No, pulls off. Doesn't matter. Leaf hits the shot, and at least for the moment, he has saved their bacon. It's a stay of execution for Chaos. They get their first round of this second half, and they maybe, just maybe, awaken a glimmer of hope for them in this game.
Yeah, I know it's cliche to say, but they do have a long road ahead of them if they really want that round to be impactful. They're just going to need to take it one at a time right now, and at least for this one, should be a little bit easier. This is the first time in forever that they've actually had a round where they're not up against rifles and ops and such. So at least now they'll be given a moment maybe to calm down and try and compose themselves. As you said at the start, maybe pulling back this comeback. Even if they don't get it all the way to the victory, at least try and warm up a little bit more before you head onto your own map choice and Mirage, because they have looked quite flat. And as you said, especially Zeppa and Leaf, they didn't get going in that first half like we would have hoped.
Look at how conservative this buy is. Grim's sporting $5,200 extra, and they've just gone for the 5.7s here. Not even armor onto Grim. So they just want to make sure that when they get the gun rounds, it's going to be as perfect as possible. Ops available, utility available. And when you got this big of a lead, of course, it makes sense. Here's going to be the push-up. Steal. Okay, was trying to get a little bit, but he had a bit too much on his plate. Didn't have the appetite for it. The MAC-10 was not able to digest those players. There's a player tucked into the dark corner. That's Grim playing sneaky. If they overlook him, they won't overlook him. Could have been dangerous, but they will thwart that danger. Bomb now down and just 5.7s for the retake. Here they move. It's all about doing damage at this point. Zeppa gets 2 kills and a third as well. So Zeppa should have ended this round, tied it up, put a little bow on it. They'll be able to retrieve the op as well, avoid taking any Galils through. Here is Chaos on to 7. They have half of their opponent's scoreline now. But here's where the threat comes in. Here's the investment from Liquid and the chance for Liquid to end this comeback before it gets started.
Yeah, as you said, half of their opponent's scoreline. 50%, it doesn't sound like a lot, but not all of those will be gun rounds, so it's not quite as daunting maybe as it seems, but yeah, still very difficult. This round is really going to be one that gives us the, I guess, signal as to whether Chaos are going to be able to get this comeback really going or not. Nafwa's run boosted across, so the peak may not be expected so quickly, but they did at least thankfully have Steel ready to follow it up, so a one-for-one trade, definitely a position they can be happy with, especially as we didn't see Liquid contesting Banana really at all, apart from some initial nades. Do they want to challenge it now? It's looking like maybe they were tempted until that smoke went down. Junji, rather, in the corner is in trouble, being mollied and then spammed as well. So yeah, I would say at this point, Liquid have done a pretty good job at recovering the round back into a fairly even position, and now even an advantageous one with the kill being found. Zeppa creeps in though to try and at least see if he can catch something back, and he has indeed been able to. That's going to influence them now to actually commit this towards B, but the issue is the bomb is still back on ramp.
This round feels like a game of chess. It's all about exchanging your bishop for a rook, and for the time being, Chaos have been effective on the trades to keep the pieces working, if not evenly, or if not in their favor, rather, just about evenly, and they've started to got the health advantage as well. Grim, a lot of pressure on the new guy. He's got to hold the back of the site. They are very familiar with him as well. So as this hit comes in, Grim has to hold the line. We've seen so many highlight reels from this player in this position. Can he deliver once more? Grim coming through. He's got the first, transfers to the second, but Leaf is quicker. A 2v2, but one of those players has to get to the bomb plant. There's only 30 seconds left, but Alish trying to force the issue without his teammate there will be denied. Now Twist with only 19 points of health. He's just going to get the op, and he's going to get out of there. Chaos, they do pass this test. They are starting to make us, well, if not quite believe, have just a bit more faith. They will now match the previous round total from the last time they had to go around with Liquid on this map. They'll take 8 rounds.
Yeah, as you said, ended up actually having a much better T side in that previous matchup as well. It was only 6, so much better than 2. Wasn't really enough in that situation either to be able to actually bring them towards the finish line or even close. But yeah, it's, as you said, getting a little bit more convincing now that maybe there is still the possibility of that comeback. Not the cleanest of rounds, sure, but the main thing is they get the round. They're going to be going up against an Eco and CT side apart from the saves over op, so they'll have a chance in this one as well to try and get that money built up in the bank. All they really need is enough for one buy anyway. Ideally, they don't want to be letting a round go, but that's the one thing they need to try and ensure, that they have at least enough money for one buy in the bank at all times, so that they can play for that overtime if they do end up dropping one.
And this is the kind of round where maybe that twist of pressure, no pun intended there, for Team Liquid starts to amp up, right? Sometimes when you get to that top scoreline or towards 14, not even onto map point yet, maybe you let off the pressure just a little bit, and once you've let off, it's very hard to turn it back on. So if Chaos can now convert, pressure amplifies just a touch for Team Liquid. Good flashbang, better shot for Stewie. He avoids the flashbang. He gets the kill, and he'll back right off at the AWP. No chance for the punish, no chance to do anything with that, and they'll start to move that gun. It is the big threat in this round, so they are hiding it and shifting it about the map. But Chaos, expecting that movement, they continue to commit in. Alish has eaten a nade. He is quite low indeed. They just need to clear this angle. Apologies if some thunder's coming through. Apparently, the skies are opening up, as are Chaos opening up on their opponents. 2 kills coming in. Bomb now planted. This round potentially over. They might just want to save the AWP, and it seems to be that's what they're going to do.
I mean, that's fair. That's all they brought into the round. Sure, they bought up a few pistols, Kevlar, and a couple of players, but they'll even be able to save over the Kevlar for Twists and Stewie. So, yeah, bring the op over, bulk up their buy a little bit in this next round, and just give themselves the best chance possible. That's what they need. Right now, they need quantity in those rounds, or rather, quality in those rounds, not quantity, because it's only 2 that they need to actually finish this off. So, yeah, having the op there to help them in this next round is going to be big. But as we said, much better from Chaos now, being able to actually keep 4 standing. At least most likely, there is still Naf at the bottom of Banana, but he's only got a USP, so I'm not expecting much to be found. They should be all secure at this point as well, just hiding around the top of Banana, although he hit a couple shots towards the body there and done enough damage to ensure that the op was going to be dropped, thankfully being picked back up by Zeppa, but still a bit of extra reinvestment having to come in there from Vanity. 5 in the difference though, Mike. This is getting a lot closer than I'm sure most people would have expected. It's still not in a position right now where Liquid are sweating and are incredibly worried, because they still have quite a few chances, including right now, to close this out. But I wasn't expecting Chaos to be able to start building back up this convincingly here on the T side, if I'm being honest.
No, considering how dominant it was, I mean, we got to a 14-5 line, right? And then Chaos, once they get that first round, it's like, okay, doors are off. Nice kill for Zeppa. He's going to get more. He's not quite going to find the third, but he's done his damage, and they're going to come in for the trade. That's a missed opportunity. Nearly had the chance to catch a Liege before he escaped. Now he's going to go bold. Oh my. He is going to bet the farm on this one. He finds Janji, and he gets away. Catches him on the reload. Bold play from Liege. Bold victory. And now this is a great situation. Great scenario for Team Liquid. They've got control of the site. They've got a second player in here. Chaos is still bunched up top Banana. Alish has equalized the numbers and been able to back off. He's trying to get more through the smoke, and he'll get damage, to be fair. Vanity now low. And Alish may have just done enough to crack this runarounds for Chaos. Now the hit comes in. They are making their move. There's still a minute, so plenty of time. But that's a big kill. Better trade from Naf. This should be over, and indeed it is Naf to finish it. Put the exclamation part on the round. Liquid have found map point. That was the round where Chaos could have truly made us believe, and Liquid have shut it down.
I mean, look at even the bits of damage that had been done. Vanity going down in that previous round just towards the end of it means he's not going to get even an AK, let alone the op to work with. Zeppa was a little bit short on money as well. You see being 100 short of getting the AK after the Kevlar comes out. So he may go for a Galil or even another SMG to join Vanity to ensure that they can get the nades in play. But that's it. Now they're playing for an overtime. They need 6 rounds in a row in order to take this into that overtime. If not, they are going to be dropping here. Again, we have to be fair. It is Liquid's map choice. And Mirage is one where we were expecting Chaos to fare much better. But still, it's upsetting that they were unfortunately not able to come through with a better CT side, especially with the start that they had. Because of how good their T side has been so far, they could have been looking fantastic right now, even if they got up to 6 or 7 on that CT side.
Absolutely, if you're looking at this map in a vacuum right now, once the results come in, this is assuming that Liquid can convert this round. This makes sense, right? As a scoreline, this makes complete sense. But we'll see if they can confirm the scoreline, because the reality is the story of the game has been anything but fence. We've had these big sprees of rounds from Chaos, and then just an inability to build outside of those. Well, if they could start another spree of rounds here, maybe we see a little bit more. The spam down hallway is designed to allow Zeppa to cross, and he has crossed. He now has this boiler control. They know that Twist is out towards Hall. That's about all they know for now. And Zeppa will actually back out of it. Got this presence. The rest of his team now thinking about taking some banana control, it seems. Maybe top mid. Never mind. Forget banana. We're going towards A this time. Weather's nice this time of year. Let's roll on through, but it's a very default setup for Liquid. And they're not going to flinch. None of this utility is going to cause a rotation, is going to cause a flinch. They're very much in their default, come what may.
And they're just actually going to charge straight into B right now, through the smokes as well. There's a Molotov down that actually forces some of the players around towards the spawn, which does allow for Stewie to take that trade. And with that, stay alive. And look at the damage that's being done. Stewie, though, being naded, being charged on. And Junji already having that control, having pushed through the spawn into construction, is ready to hold off the rotates.
Okay.
Chaos, all right. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. Just charging straight in after just trying to sell out a fake with one Moto smoke. I believe the initial hope for that was just to ensure that if there was any players peeking around that top of banana, that they would be kind of out of position then and at least moving back towards the bomb site, maybe towards the CT spawn and such, just to let them do that. And damn, yeah, fantastic work to be able to trade out Stewie as well, and as I pointed out, to be able to get that control in towards construction. That just wasn't expected so quickly. Liquid again forced into the save, double digits for Chaos.
Well, Dean, we were about ready to close the book on this map, but it seems like Chaos might have some chapters left to write. This is getting interesting now. 5 rounds for overtime. Obviously, there is no room for mistakes. Presumably, Liquid going to take a bit of a half buy here on the remaining players and maybe throw some pistols around. Naf could maybe toss an upgrade to somebody if they wanted to get an SMG out, but there's no reason to go for heavy investment here. They want those proper gun rounds. So we're going to see Stewie pick up armor and a pistol. They'll share the upgraded pistols out a little bit, but we really shouldn't see much more from Liquid, which is presumably going to allow Chaos up to 11. And this map gets very interesting indeed. Again, I apologize if Thunder's coming through in any way.
It's all good. We're not picking up at all of them. I don't believe.
Great.
At least I'm not hearing it, so they shouldn't be able to either.
my power holds out as well. If I disappear suddenly, my apologies. Mother Nature isn't on my side today. Naf, deep into the apartments. This is bold. He gets one, but he's traded, and that was not worth it. That was their one AWP. He went for the bold play, and it didn't work out, but Twist, keeping up the bold play works out beautifully. He gets the kill. He backs off. They've let one player into the site proper, but did they clear Boiler? They do indeed. Big kill for Steel, and I don't think they'll expect Vanity to already be out towards Moto. Deep into the graveyard. As they come through the smoke, he should be able to punish. Now the smoke fades. Grim's out. Grim's dead. They don't even have to reveal Vanity's position. Stewie, what can he do? Maybe go on a mission to try and find that AWP, but I think he's just going to try and risk it. Go for something. Go for anything. No, seems he's on a mission to recover a gun.
Yeah, that's fair. It could be quite useful. Did they move that up around at all over towards the apartments? I wouldn't imagine rather that they got a chance to do so. Rifle available here on second mid at least. Will he move back in and try and get the op in the apartments? Is it worthwhile now that he has the AK? It looks like, unfortunately, this is probably going to cost him his life because he's also being flanked out on the balcony right now by Vanity. Although he doesn't quite catch the time in there to spot Stewie creeping in towards the apartment, so he may be able to just sit here securely until the end of it, and at that point pick up the up, but no, swaps it out, and isn't able to get the 5-7 out in time, or at least not connect the shots after getting it out, as it is 11-15, only 4 rounds now in the difference. Chaos, they are beginning to make this possible for sure. As we said, we were hoping that even if they weren't able to pull the comeback back into a winnable position, that at least they'd warm up before heading towards Mirage. But no, at this point, it's really starting to look like that overtime is possible.
They've won 6 of the last 7. 6 of the last 7. Now, only 1 more is needed for Liquid, so if they keep up that pace, it's not the worst thing in the world. They'll get out of it with a 16-14, but they got to get there first. And we'll see. Naf, looking down alt mid, he gets the tag. Not the frag, but damage done on the Leaf, and he puts them on notice. He's got a little bit info as well. Zeppa, though, knowing that the alt was committed, is going to take advantage of that and get forward. Down the halls, and here they come. It's just the halls pop. It's pretty straightforward play, and Twist is going to read it for the first, the second as well. That drops bomb in the pit. They're now committed to this play. They can't back off of it. Steel will get 1, and Twist does get eliminated, but good damage done for him, to be fair. The bomb's likely going to be planted. That's a nice nade, as well as follow-up spam. Okay, here we go. Liquid down 2v3, bomb going down. They've got a player positioned to wrap around the lane, and 1 coming out from library. These 2 players have to be good. They've got util to their name. They're going to try and clear the pit with it. Steel will catch that nade, but now he knows where 1 player is coming through. This is so bold from Janji. 1 straight bullet, and he's done for. But Grim has now walked past him, and this has worked out to Janji's favor. Janji comes back out the smoke, and there's the kills. Every player limping into the next round. Limping is enough. 3 rounds back now for Chaos from overtime.
That is absolutely insane. Whenever it seems like Chaos may have been beaten down, they just prove us wrong. That nade, molly, and spam combo out through the long smoke, it probably saved them there, let's be real. Been able to get that 1 kill and doing so much damage as well, giving them the room to get the bomb planted with a relatively comfortable advantage at that point. 3 rounds to go before we head into an overtime. Liquid at this point, I'd said a while ago they probably weren't sweating too much. At this point, they may need to change a t-shirt. Oh my god, Elige, okay, absolutely destroys Junji with that peek, but at least the T's were ready. The rest of Chaos already were moving into the apartment, so they get the instant trade, and with that now begin to pounce out towards the bomb site. But up close on quad right now with Twists and then a player also positioned on the bomb site, they could certainly still cause some serious damage, but as I say that, playing it relatively safely, they deal with Naf at least, and now they know where Twists is, and as soon as they do, they are able to go ahead and take him down. The nade as well came in to do some good damage, and then Steel just cleans up. So there we go. Kind of as expected in that round. Maybe got a little scary when Elige got that initial pick, and then also when they got slowed down coming out of the apartments. Yeah. But Chaos, they play it well, and now there's 2 to go.
There was danger with that crossfire, right? You have Naf on site, and then you've got Twist out towards the lane with the Deagle. But the presence of mind to slow things down at that point, drop the Molotov to clear that position just in case there's a CZ or something like it waiting around the corner. That really ends it. Obviously, that's a hard read from Chaos. It's not a nade that you frequently see thrown, but it works. Elige going down mid. Here's the bold play. Here's the change up. Here's maybe Liquid feeling the flames, and it's working out. Speaking of flames, Zeppa will burn on Banana. And now Elige has this deep control. He'll get another kill and damage to boot. This could be it. 2 players remain. Vanity and Steel, and they're completely isolated. Vanity's up Banana. Steel trying to retake the T ramp, and he'll succeed. He'll get this space. It's been given up. Liquid, 3 players up at this point, are content to fade back towards the site, and why wouldn't they? The round has barely begun, and they have already annihilated the bulk of Chaos.
It's just heartbreaking to be decimated like this after getting so close to the overtime right now. Steel and Vanity, there must be so much pressure on their shoulders. Separated as well. They've got some time here in fairness to work with, but unless Liquid makes some ridiculous mistakes, just peeking one by one, then there really should be no chance that they can win this out. They have 50 seconds. They're just completely outnumbered, and as long as these B players can even stay alive or at least get one kill, then at that point the rest of the players moving in from A should have a pretty straightforward retake, and that's even if Chaos get that far. So yeah, Steel and Vanity right now, everything is working against them, including the time with that Molotov going down. The CT smoke actually leaving a massive gap as well. I think it was blocked there by the player who was standing in the spawn, and because of the gap, you see it taking the attention of Vanity. It allows for Stewie above the smoke to have an easy kill, and Steel is all alone. They try and knife him. That gets a little bit scary maybe, but Elige is there to end it and ensure that that isn't going to cost them anything. Liquid, they eventually close it out here on Inferno, but that was way too close. I'm sure they're not feeling too good about how that went down after having such a fantastic lead.
If they bleed, or we can kill them. It must be the thought from Chaos. That has to be the conversation that's going on here, because it looked like Liquid were just going to be this god tier team, and they were shown to be mortal at the end there. Obviously, they escaped with the 16-13. That's A-okay, but if you're Chaos, you knew Inferno was going to be tough going into it. Now you head to Mirage, a map where they've got a little bit more that they've been working on, a map that tends to favor them a little bit more in general, and where they've apparently been working on some new tricks. So maybe this Liquid team might get caught here. Certainly was a very different squad in those last, say, 7 rounds than we had at the beginning. And I'm curious to see whether that form continues, whether maybe some of those doubts have crept in, or whether they're just going to instantly be able to reset and come out and be that monolith that we expect from Team Liquid.
Yeah, well, all you can really do at that point is wait and see. But as you said, you seem to have some inside info. You are hopeful that we can potentially see Chaos come back into this. And so am I. I want to see a competitive series here. If we see 3 maps, Nuke would be an absolute banger as well. But of course, guys, we are just going to have to send it over to a break now. Once we come back, we will be coming back as soon as the teams are ready. And once we do, we will have Mirage indeed live.
Intel Gamer Days is on now. Whether you're looking to buy or build, now is a great time to upgrade. Get limited time offers and giveaways from top names in PC gaming. Unleash elite gaming performance with systems featuring new 10th gen Intel Core processors, and bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game optimizations for a mightier PC experience. Act now. Intel Gamer Days is only here for a limited time.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
If you want to know what you're good at, and, well, also what you suck at, check out csgohub.com. Coming!
We're living for the moment now, we're one with the world. I can't lose this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. Love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. I won't. Oh, baby. Just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the key. This can be lifting you. Can't go alone, let's do by two. Doing this together, it's me by you. All through the night, all through the night. This is me, this is you. When we get together, we can all pull through. I don't ever wanna stop this groove. Let's get it right. Take it to the Lord, then take it to the grave. Listen to the wise man, tell me what he say. Listen to your heartbeat like it still bleed. A little bit of hope, yeah, it's what we still need. Say a little prayer for the moment. Give what you got, just go in. Can't hold you back if you own it. Live your life like it's chosen. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. I won't. Oh, baby, just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the keys. Know what I need, I know what I need. You'll find the keys.
Introduce me, I'm the renegade. Ooh, every single night, I crave the taste. It's the adrenaline running through my gait. It gets me high, high, high. Got no time to waste. Ain't got time for small talk. I tell you the truth. I'm fascinated you. I'ma tell you the truth. Not in it to lose. Just fascinate you. Look into my eyes. I'm not afraid. Take over my mind till it fades. Like a medicine, it keeps me safe. This neon lights lead the way. Ain't got time for small talk. I tell you the truth. just faster than you.
Doesn't have the time, always talks about all the other guys. Will I ever understand? Without her, it's not fair, I need you back. No more crying at the end, I'll do it again.
Under peach yellow skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away.
All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after.
We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. You are mine. Come on and run away. We wanna run away.
We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after.
We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. As long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after.
ESL 1 Cologne Online is brought to you in part by Intel, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, and GGBet.
All right, everyone, welcome back, and it is indeed rather time for the second map now here between Liquid and Chaos. And Chaos, they had a tough time initially on Inferno, but it really did look like they were starting to finally wake up there. Unfortunately, just not having enough rounds on that CT side, that they do end up just about falling short 16-13. But Liquid, I don't think they're going to be as comfortable as they would have been initially now coming on towards Mirage here. A map where on paper we are expecting more from Chaos, as we said before, and also one where it's worth noting Liquid did recently lose 16-7 to Evil Geniuses.
It presents some fascinating opportunities on this map, right? We obviously had the massively deflating round for Chaos with the TK that they basically just gave up and saved with 4. We kind of wonder what would have happened if that round had gone their way, or maybe if that Ninja Defuse from Steel had gone their way. It felt like that map was one round away from potentially being an overtime game. Now we're going to get a bold play. It's everyone coming out of Palace, but they've overlooked Stewie. It doesn't matter. Stewie can't connect on the kill. This should be a bomb plant coming through here. That was 4 players out of Palace. Now just 1 coming ramp. Elysian spotted one out by the Ninja spot, but they're starting to pick apart this attack. Bomb needs to go down. It's stuck by Firebox. Late through Khan is Steel. Unfortunately, he's not ahead of the nade, and the nade has resulted in all of his team members dead. So now this late play not going to work out, and Steel's going to get caught with a bolt in the head. Now, in talking to MCE before this series, he said that they had a pistol round for Mirage. Their T-side pistol was going to make them either look like geniuses or idiots. Don't think it made them look like geniuses this time.
No, unfortunately, no. If they had got the win, yeah, that's clearly what they were going for. If you had got the win at that point, we would have been like, how the hell did they make that happen? But nah, not going to be happening. Not going to be working for them here, rather. And that's big for Liquid, because now they're able to try and get a bit of momentum back from what they actually were losing there towards the end of Inferno, because again, as we said, they were probably getting pretty worried at that point. They certainly showed a lot of confidence in that final round, just charging down mid, but to be able to actually get off to a good start here and hopefully this time overcome any sort of weaker investment, at least this time as well, it's actually no investment, it is just those Glocks being retained. 1 kill being found so far from Leaf, that's not too bad. They get 1 more frag here, taking 2 weapons out of the hands of the CTs, and that would be huge. But Naf, who was the one who was already tagged up at that point, just wasn't going to be showing himself again. It wasn't necessary. Lets his teammates deal with the threat, and at that point now, Team Liquid, they take the 2-0 lead. Grim, the only one who fell, he'll be actually dropped over the MP9. That allows for Elige to go straight to an M4, and with that, it gives them a slightly better investment in this round. But it's not like they've been able to actually build up that economy to give them a buy sufficiently in this next round. So there is still a good chance here for Chaos if they pick up this open and gun round to, with that, maybe get themselves another round pretty easily off the back of it. Oh, and look at the speed they're trying to bring it towards A with. Expecting the weaker weapons and maybe limited utility. There is plenty of nades in play for the CT side, and they actually dropped quite a few trying to delay that push, including flashes, and it successfully separated the T as Leafy went in through the smoke. His teammates are only now beginning to try and follow him up, and of course at that point, they're just not really giving themselves any chances for the trades. Only the 1 from Zeppa so far, and he's gone as well, so the big name's certainly being taken down already at this point. And with Steel so low, it really is all on vanity. He gives us 1, but it's not going to be clean either.
And look at the remaining health. The remaining health is so dangerous. Elige basically just played them like a fiddle in that round, and what he did is he also enabled Twist. Because every time it felt like they were going to clear Twist's position, Elige would poke back out and find somebody. Naf's just going to walk into the Palace and catch both. They were both in that angle, both coming to his position, and Naf just doesn't care. He's just going to take them out of play. So 3 players surviving. That's a phenomenal round for Liquid. And as you said before, their economy hadn't had a full chance to bloom, but now it will have. And they've thwarted that first buy without even a bomb plant. So Chaos going to be on the back foot here, going to be causing some major issues for them. Look, they went for a fast play on A, and the setup was perfect from Liquid. You have the player behind the default box. You have the player tucked under balcony, and Elige just plays the timings perfectly to keep Twist as sort of their ace in the hole later in. And Twist gets a kill, and from that point, it's just about done. Seems like we are going to be having a technical issue come through here. It's been called not live in the chat. Everybody's hanging out in towards the spawn. Seems like we have a headset issue coming in here.
I will use this moment to fix the HUD.
There we go.
There is a random extra player on it. The HUD doesn't like me. Producing and casting at the same time, not always fun. You have to wait for the downtime rather to actually fix the issues.
It seems like this issue is going to be really quickly resolved, though. I'm already seeing that it's been resolved, and we're just waiting to play catch-up here, and there we go. So, Match Medic, round reset. This is possibly the quickest reset to a round I've ever seen. When the tech issue comes in, and I think we're good now. Now we've got a debate about which VoIP service is the best going on in chat. TeamSpeak, Discord, or Mumble.
All right, we're good. All fixed.
They're discussing the VoIP meta here, Dean.
I can't see the chat, unfortunately. I know you NA guys just prefer Mumble, TeamSpeak, and Discord. Well, I guess TeamSpeak, at least when I initially started playing CS, was like the main thing in EU, and then you said Mumble.
Yeah.
But I guess Discord is probably used a lot.
I've never used Mumble.
No? You never used it? Okay.
I love Discord. I never used Mumble. TeamSpeak and Discord are the ones that I've used personally. Twist! 1 kill, but he gets overwhelmed. Elige, though, is there to bail him out. Elige is going to take 3. He's looking for 1 more with a sidearm now. That's a little bit too bold. Jonji might just have enough time to get a bomb plant. Oh my, but he spends precious moments getting the AK out. Now he's going to have to re-smoke. There's a player at his back and ticket, and he has no idea, so Stewie will get it. 3 big kills for Elige, just swinging that rifle left, right, and center on the site and collecting heads at every turn.
That was just insane control from Elige right there to get that triple spray down. As you said, tried to resort to the pistol, and he did eventually fall because of that after running out of bullets. So I think Chaos can actually still be pretty happy about the damage that they were able to get done. Again, taking out 2 rifles out of the hands of Liquid, rather, and now leaving it in a position where if they do lose this round, a couple players would have that money. But Liquid just don't care. They're continuing on with these confident plays, and it is Elige yet again to come through with the frags, taking 2. And initially, at least, everyone managed to escape up through Connector. Unfortunately, Naf, he did stick around, and with that, it ends up costing him his life. And now when you look at the fact that Grim and Elige are both low, you do have to be a bit worried, especially when Leaf has gotten himself window control.
Yeah, maybe a touch. Elige, oh, this fight could be everything. Nice shot for Leaf. Takes him out of play. Now they can wrap on towards this A bomb site and cause pressure, and that distracts them from Palace for just long enough for Steel to poke out and get another kill. So Twist, now when they take a booth, has to repeat Elige's performance, and he's out in the open. He will find the first, but traded immediately. Took a little bit too long to find that kill. He was blinded at the initial, and now a smoke covers off Stewie's angle. He's got the AWP. It's a 1v2, and it seems like he might just go the long way around. There's a rifle here if he wanted to swap for the rifle for the attempt, and he will indeed do so. That's the AK found. He'll come back down towards Connector. Leaf will be close by for that. The bomb is just now going down, so Stewie has plenty of time, if not the kit. Jonji wandering around out in the open. He will be exterminated, but does Stewie expect a player close up? Provided he reads this is over. Leaf's playing a bit of an off angle, and Leaf will come out on top for Chaos's first round.
Yeah, he makes it work. What a crazy round, though, with that mid-aggression as well. As I had said, just the damage that they took. If Naf had been able to escape, if they could have just sat comfortably in the 5-on-3 at that point, despite having a Legion Grim load, and I think they would have been all good. But as soon as they lose Naf, as soon as that window control is taken by Leaf, it just turns the tides of the round, and he ends up being the one that ends it for them as well. So Chaos, welcome to the board. It was actually them, of course, who were able to get the 4-1 lead, though, initially back on Inferno. And we've seen how that went, at least on the first half for them. So we'll see if they can actually manage to work in from behind this time. And, oh, they're definitely trying to, but Stewie just about composed himself and got the op out. And with that, snatched away the life of Leaf. Steel, I believe, is pushed out ramp, so that's a little bit crazy. May not be expected, but look at this. There's a gap in the window smoke. Is anyone watching it? It may not even be needed, because apparently they're just going to walk straight up Connector. Stewie's already been dinked as well, so that's going to be dangerous once they push forward. But as I say that, Elige at least shuts down the ramp player, so now they can go ahead and fully focus on towards Connector and have a really strong crossfire. Sure, eventually Stewie will be taken down, but they've pretty much lost everything for it. Trying to take him out of that position has gone ahead and left Vanity alone, and he just doesn't know that that player's up close. Grim from the kitchen door, a free backstab. Not quite literally, unfortunately didn't have the range for that, too far away, so he has to just take the M4 kill, but yeah, 5-1. A single round for Chaos. Immediately Liquid are able to return, and this is where it really does begin to get scary. A reminder for anyone who may just recently be joining us, Chaos, they did end up dropping that first map. We were hoping that their own map choice here of Mirage would fare better, but at least in the beginning, it's not going all that well.
It's early days, though. It's early days. A lot could change. One thing I will say is early on, Liquid is a much more dynamic defensive team here on Mirage than they were on Inferno. Inferno, they were pretty calm and patient. They were content to sit back. They'd try and go forward and get a pick, and if that didn't work out, they'd sort of sit in towards defaults, maybe shift some things around, but play a fairly stable game. This time, much more dynamic. They're going forward. They're finding those first kills. They're finding those first engagements. They're keeping Chaos off balance. This time, Chaos come to them, and oh my, it's a massacre. 3 players were ready and waiting, and not a one of them will die for Liquid as they just pick apart this attack onto the B-bomb site. Liquid come out 6-1, 5 rounds up. An investment will come in here from Chaos, but they may not have the frills, having not gotten that bomb plant. They won't have the option for the AWP. It'll just be the rifles through here. Don't know if they want to play with that op, but it's going to be rifles that they stick to for the time being. And Chaos, they're starting to get into dangerous territory. You allow 5 players to make it through a round. This is where you really do away with your ability to cause an easy upset. You're going to make every round difficult, every round a battle. Molly in, a player forced out, but the smoke was good from Elige. It keeps the Molly from blooming. It allows him to escape back out Con without taking any punishment whatsoever.
But Naf is sticking around. Oh, nearly got the timing right there on a player peeking in from Delpan without his weapon out, but didn't matter in the end. There's just too many players to deal with. Jean-G ends up taking down Elige, but peeking back in from window, and once again, it is Stewie who just keeps on facing from this position, helped out by Twists elsewhere, who's actually gone ahead and doubled down as well. So it's all on Vanity. This round was looking so good for Chaos when they got those initial trades, but it's just the relentless confidence at this point for Team Liquid that seems too much for them to handle. There's one for Vanity. Catches Grim off guard on short. The back was completely exposed, so that gives him the bomb plant. There is already Stewie up on short, but being low health, he didn't want to move in quickly, so they do allow that bomb to be planted, and with that also give quite a bit of time for Vanity to actually position now up in the apartments, which is fantastic when you look at the fact that there's no nades at all for the CT side, and he himself, working with a Molotov and a couple of flashes, could waste some extra time from this spot.
This is very clutchable. This is very winnable. They're going to have to tap onto it, but it's Stewie who's got no health.
Oh.
But Twist just holds the angle. They were ready for it. They knew exactly where he was playing from, and they read him like a book. And Twist, when given the opportunity, will not miss that shot. So a winnable situation, completely dashed here for Chaos, and they might be kicking themselves for that one. They're sitting at that 7-1 scoreline. And this does seem to be a Liquid team that is bearing their fangs. Inferno, way too close for their comfort. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that it got so close. This time they want to put no doubt in our brains that they are the team that should be walking away from this series with the victory. They are bringing the hurt early and often to Chaos. Here we're going to see the alt play for the first time this map, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct. We hadn't seen it before. And definitely not on the T side. They're still yet to pull it out, and I believe working with weaker weapons as well, just early on from the Liquid side because some of those cleaner rounds. So it wasn't really needed, but yeah, pulling it out now. Not going to be challenging too heavy around mid, though. Actually just pretty much giving it up after the initial nades go down by Chaos, so they will be allowed to get themselves a good bit of control, including initially creeping up towards short. But Stewie doesn't care. He comes back in, he takes that aggressive peek on the angle, manages to catch Vanity, and now Liquid can be much more comfortable with this passive approach that they're taking where they aren't actually challenged in mid. Oh, and
I do just want to correct myself. The op was definitely out earlier. Elige is about to lose his life because Stewie, as I recall, swapped to it for a clutch towards top mid. So my memory...
Basically. My bad.
I mean, I did first. My memory is that of a goldfish sometimes in these short-term scenarios. Naf holding his tight angle by the firebox. Steel is the player he's looking for, but his teammates are making their way out, and there's the molly into fire. So now they know Naf's here. The spam might be good, but they got to deal with Twist on ticket first, and he bails out. Nicely played from Twist. Get a kill, get out of there. Couldn't have gone better, and Leaf, he peeks to clear it, but he loses his life. That is bombed down, and he'll have to face off against an off to get it back, and Naf is still here. They never cleared him. Eventually, they get this kill as he just sat in the smoke for so very long. They don't have a smoke to cover this off. Won't matter, though. Stewie's so bold, gets caught. Comes down to the 1v1. Does not help here for Steel. He's got to take this fight, and as soon as he faces, Grim will punish. Op can be retrieved. Liquid, that was the closest round they've allowed in a long time, but they still seal the deal. They still take the dub.
Yeah, great work by Stewie. Despite missing that second shot, which looked like one he probably should have hit. I think the Molly Flame's kind of obstructing his vision a little bit. But that initial frag of dropping the bomb, as we pointed out, just forcing at that point Chaos to try and work back to take connector control. It just made it so difficult, and even Naf just staying alive for like probably 10 seconds more than he should have at that point, just ensuring that they had to keep their focus around that position for a while. So yeah, really well played by Liquid, as you said. Although it was one of the closer rounds, they still managed to pick it up, and they have a chance to try and make up for the fact that they lost so much in that previous one, which is kind of needed because they really don't have too much money. In theory, they're still in a position here where drop one round, and then at that point they could be looking at an eco on a couple players, and then suddenly Chaos could start building back up a few rounds here on the T side. So they certainly don't want to let that happen. Stewie, I think he's going to have an easy enough shot this time with the op. Indeed, despite being blinded, he got the vision just beforehand. And then Twist's playing from under the palace. They're going to be able to keep the range on the M4, and pretty straightforward right there. He is going to be connecting those shots. John G eventually gets one. Nearly had the opportunity there as well to snatch away a Liege, but it's not going to be allowed. And with that 9-1, this is getting just way too out of hand. Honestly, Chaos are looking for at least 5 rounds right now if they want to be in a position where they can believe in themselves, I would imagine, or at least where I can believe in them then going over to their CT side, because I would hope they believe in themselves at all times.
You'd hope they believe in themselves, but they've got to make us believe. They've got to make us believe right now. I was thinking about making a Tinkerbell is dying joke. You know, every time a kid stops believing in fairies, Tinkerbell starts to fade away, a fairy loses its wings, whatever the exact line is. It seems like that might be the case right now. Chaos, their fairies might be losing some serious wings as the belief is starting to fade from us in the casting booth, likely from the audience as well, perhaps even from their own minds. But we'll see if they can restore the faith, if they can brook a renaissance, maybe a new chapter of sorts. It starts here. They've got the rifles. They've taken this mid control. But as we've seen before, Liquid are fine with giving them the mid control if they don't want to commit to it. And as soon as they do, as soon as they start to make that move on the site, that's where they get vaporized. But this time, it's going to be Grim. The new kid on the block is being given a lot of responsibility in this setup. He is the sole B anchor, and he is up forward. He's already found one. He's looking for more. He's going to use utility to secure his position. Smoke goes down, and now Grim can just fade away like a bad dream. There's nothing they can do about it. They really can't punish. Chasing through that smoke would be disastrous. And now he's got reinforcements as well in the form of Naf. So this could not have gone better for Grim and Liquid.
Oh.
Although now that one tap from Vanity straight down mid erases Stewie 2K, and suddenly questions are being asked. Mid retaken. Players moving back in. They'll boost a player up into the window to potentially take that off, at least take that ground. And now A-Site could be right for the taking as they can split it. Twist goes down. The player sandwich is good, though. It's a Liege. Of course he's good. Now he can back out towards Ramp and Tetris, but Zeppa from on high lays him low, prevents him from escaping. And we'll line this up. The trades are still there. The bomb plant was denied. There's only 10 seconds left. Grim could shut this all down, but he has to make a move. Vanity will get the plant. Now time. No longer a burden. Grim gonna try and come over, but he has no idea Leaf is so close. He has no idea. Leaf plays it patient. Leaf makes it work. Another clutch for Leaf for their second round. Both of their 1 rounds have come down to Leaf securing the final kill, and he's been good so far.
Yeah, which is needed. We seen, of course, both Leaf and Zeppa have a very slow start back on Inferno, and they both did eventually pick it up. That needs to be said. That's how they were able to start clawing it back, and in the end only ended up dropping it 13-16, but they've had an even much slower start here on Mirage, so they're going to need a lot right now from Leaf, from Zeppa, and just from everyone if they want to make this comeback happen. As we had pointed out, though, Liquid really hadn't built up that great of an economy, so all of their money has gone back into a rebuy here. If Chaos get this round, at that point likely looking at 4, but of course maybe I jinx it just a little bit. Stewie, he catches Vanity there crossing at the top of mid, just about got the vision, but Elias trying to jump peek window gets absolutely wrecked. That's what caught him in the previous round, by the way, when he was jumping to toss the flash against the wall to get as much power on it as he could. It just about showed the top of his head. Of course, in this round,
I think at this point,
they've still got the advantage back.
They do, yeah. It's Grim in the kitchen once again. I think at this point he's signing a lease on that apartment because he has made it his home. And that is now the second round in recent memory where Chaos have tried to venture into a little bit of Amps control and just been completely denied by Grim with no ability to punish. He gets the kill, he backs right off. Everything is great in Casa del Grim. So they're going to come back up. They're going to come knocking on his door once again. Apparently, they haven't learned his lesson. They are persistent. Naf, though, has gotten rid of the stragglers, gotten rid of the hanger-on of Janji, and it's just Zeppa and Leaf now to attempt something magical. 45 seconds to go, a 2v4, and they're getting utility out as they cross around. Naf will find one that sets up Grim for the second, and he will take it. 10 rounds on the board for Team Liquid. Double digits, and they don't show signs of slowing down right now. Chaos have a decision to make about whether they're going to go for the force or the half buy here, because this half is already completely out of control. So the question is, do you risk it here and try and maybe bring some semblance of order back, get to those 5 rounds you were talking about earlier? And that seems to be the answer they've come up with. They cannot afford to let more opportunities slip them by, so they're going for the MAC-10s. They're going for a few rifles. Let's see if this can work. Presumably a fast play coming in here. Maybe they can punish in towards the apartments, cause some pain towards Grim, but Molly's will deny them that speed that they so crave.
The risk, the reward right now, both factors being very high in this buy. If they lose it, then they're in for a tough time to salvage the half at all. If they win it, then there is still some hope alive. So we'll see how this goes down. The issue is the initial nade damage was quite ridiculous, and as soon as they actually begin to start getting ready to go forward on B, they do get smoked off yet again, and they decide that they don't really want to go through it right now. So reconsidering at the moment the approach into this round, looking to move back and through the top of mid and through underpass, will be able to find themselves that control. And they've still well over a minute, so this actually doesn't work out too bad, especially considering they've also been able to run down a lot of those nades around the B apartment. So that would limit anything to hold it off if they do eventually hit back at B, and also limits nades for a retake if they end up taking the A-bomb site.
Oh, Leaf right now is making me very nervous. Grim's on the other side of this lip. There's a second player here to support as well. Whoever gets his first kill might determine the round, and it's Grim who comes out on top. He was patient, a fisherman waiting, and eventually gets a nibble at his line. There's a trade out towards the murder hole, though, and that op will be retrieved for steal, so a bit of an upgrade. They're a man down, but there's only one player towards the A side of the map. Unfortunately for them, that's not where they want to go. They want to go towards B. So Chaos, they're coming into heavy resistance. Naf will clean out the back lines, and Grim gets the remainder. A 3K for Grim in the round, an 11th round for Team Liquid, and serious punishment on the board for Chaos. Grim had a quiet Inferno, it must be said, but he is roaring to life here on Mirage. 15-4 right now to top the board for either squad.
They all are. That's the issue. I mean, he's on 15, but the disparity between the top and the bottom fragger is only 5 kills. That's Twists then down on 10. When Twists is your bottom fragger, you know you're good. They're just all doing their job. I mean, it really is being reflected by that scoreline. A pause in again from Chaos. This is only their second one, or is this their first? I believe second. But it says 3 out of 4
I believe
remaining.
first. We had technical
is it their first? Okay.
on the other.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
The previous were technical issues.
I'm surprised this is the first pause then. Down on 11-2 when they don't have enough for a full buy as well. Bit of a weird timing.
It felt like in a lot of the previous rounds, even when the scoreline was starting to get out of whack, it's like, okay, but only if we can do this in this round, suddenly it's back on the board. And when you get to 11-2, you kind of have to pause, take stock, and say, so this has gone poorly. Let's try and tack these last 2 rounds on and maybe give ourselves a chance in the second half. Just calm those columns down, clear it a little bit. Look at Elige going so bold into Palace. He's got both. He was practically inside of Vanity. He just doesn't care. Stewie and Twist shutting down the remainder. It's just Janji. This round is not happening. Not today, not here, not now. 12 rounds for Liquid as we hit the last of the half. One final attempt for Chaos to try and get something on the board, to get something that works and not just get annihilated by the fury of Team Liquid.
That was just so weird around the Palace right there. As you said, they were basically inside each other during that fight. It's not an exchange that you see too often, and honestly is one where normally those pistols are going to have a bit of success, but no, wasn't allowed. Liquid, they cleaned up that round and are now already sitting with 12 here on the CT side, looking to end it on 13 if possible. Stewie misses the shot, tried to stick around on the 5-7, but is completely denied, and there we go with a pick elsewhere also being found by Steel in towards Palace. Suddenly Chaos have a fantastic position to at least try and salvage this third round. Vanity actually being forced forward there by the Molotov. Definitely could have went back, but he decided to take that control for them, and it works out quite well. If he had a fallen with no chance of a trade, then that would have been probably horrendous. But he gives them the room now to start moving forward. Twists in towards Tetris, trying to do what he can. He does some damage, but it's nowhere near enough, as now it's all on Grim.
Let's see if the Reaper can make a presence here. If he can manifest himself and find the 5 heads needed to secure this round, there's no risk. You might as well go for it. Roll the dice, and Grimm's first test is going to be Vanity. But Vanity is low. A toe shot here might just do him. And he's going to be cleared, but Grimm does the classic double take, not clearing quite deep enough, and Vanity will get the one tap to the dome that's needed to seal a round that seemed to be a sure thing. But it's still only 3 sure things for them. They had one good round. Every other round came down to a 1v1 clutch at the end of it, right? So even the rounds they won were barely taken through. Team Liquid have been the dominant force here. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if they can carry even 60% of that force, of that fury into the second half, I think it's going to be a tough road for Chaos.
Yeah, we've got to remember that they did slow down back on Inferno, but that wasn't also a 13-2 half. It wasn't quite that one-sided, only being 10-5. So yeah, no, everything right now is just working against Chaos. It is looking quite bleak, quite grim, ironically, considering he's over on Liquid. But as always, guys, we do just have a few minutes here at the halftime. We decide to just talk through it rather than actually throwing it over to a break, just because it is such a short time that there's no real point for you guys to just look at a waiting screen for like 45 seconds by the time we actually get there. So me and Mike, we like to chat loads of nonsense sometimes. At least when it's this one-sided.
We do.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing here, the thing that I think is particularly dire for Chaos, is when I was talking to MCE before the game, the thing that he thought might be the difference maker for them was their T side on Mirage. They were changing up some things. They were going for some unorthodox plays, and it just hasn't worked out. Obviously, that pistol was the first signal that maybe things were going wrong. They tried something a bit cheeky, and it didn't work. And now they've tried a couple different things, and nothing has really consistently worked at all. Obviously, the scoreline tells the tale. It's hard to talk beyond that. So for Chaos, you better be hoping that Liquid have a heck of a second half collapse, and that this time it's even worse than it was on Inferno. And even then, I mean, they still sealed the deal, and you've got an even more dramatic deficit. So this is a moment where you need to dig deep into yourself and see if you got what it takes to make the finals here of ESL 1 Cologne. If you can make it to that big digital stage, if you can make your presence known. And right now, Chaos, it's not convincing. They've had some huge upsets lately, Dean. They in this event, you know, toppling teams, taking series over 100 Thieves, taking series over Furia. These are big scalps to take. But against Liquid, it just hasn't seemed possible.
No, and we wanted to be really optimistic. We wanted to be as optimistic as we possibly could. We were looking at it like, okay, yeah, they came back a bit on Inferno. Now they've warmed up. We were pointing out the fact that Liquid had recently lost this map, of course, to EG, losing to 16-7, I believe it was. So we were like, okay, yeah, Chaos, they can do this. But no, they've looked even flatter here on Mirage. Nothing to be taken away from Liquid, because they are playing fantastic. We do have to, of course, ensure that people recognize that, and I'm sure they do. Just looking at the scoreline being 12-3, even the rounds, as you said, that Chaos did win were much too close for their liking, so that they were always left in such a weak position without the economy, that they were just constantly they'd get one sole round, then they'd be put back onto the pistols and then just repeat. That's kind of what it was. We are getting back in, as you can hear from the many ticking noises in the chat. We can't see it, but we can still hear it. I don't think it's possible to turn that off. I'm sure Mike can tell us what they're talking about this time.
Leaf has said that he did Medbay, which makes no sense to you because you haven't played Among Us yet. But
okay, yeah.
You should get Among Us, man. It's a good time.
So they're playing in the semi-finals of Cologne. They're still talking about that Among Us game. Awesome. How many messing?
I actually played an Among Us game with a few of these players the other day.
I'll pick it up and join you. Sounds interesting.
It's good fun. It's good fun. Let me just say, MCE is not only a genius coach, he's a pretty good Among Us player. Now we're going to be seeing the take up Cat. They're moving on in towards site. Jonji going to lob a nade, but most of the players were past it. Did some decent damage. Grim doesn't care what nades you throw his way. He is going to collect your dome, and now they've found ground on towards B. Everybody's here, though. Everybody's here, including Steel, actually on the site proper. Can he catch Nap before that bomb goes down? No, he's lost himself in the smoke, and he's not going to get away with it. The kills are coming in, but it's working out well for Liquid, and I think this is all over, and indeed it is. And with that pistol, Liquid may have just signed the death warrant for Chaos EC in this tournament.
That is so unfortunate. I ended up actually just kind of getting stuck on the edge of the metal right there. Shoots that, gives away his position, and at that point was just completely screwed up close against multiple Glocks. There really was nothing for Steel to do anymore, as you said, once he got lost in the smoke. 13-3. This is not what I was hoping for. We always want to see as competitive as possible of games, but yeah, Liquid right now, they're showing that they do deserve to move on. And we don't quite know who their opponent is going to be right now, but Evil Geniuses, they are up by 1 map currently over Furia. That's certainly worth noting. And I believe have won out the first half 9-6 as well.
I believe so. That sounds about right, which would be interesting. EG right now on a heater. An interesting rematch if it is Liquid to take it. If Chaos 10 rounds down mount a resurgence, then they would certainly have earned that playoff berth, that finals berth. We'll see if they can do it. Tough task for sure. John G up close with the Deagle. He's connected on one. He's gotten the kill. It wasn't the Juan Dig, but he got it done. Unfortunately, he can't find more. It took a little bit too long to get that first initial kill. So the aggressive posturing gets them one, but one may not be enough. And it seems like Liquid are grouping up for an eventual B hit based on the positioning of the bomb. They've taken this mid control. They're messing around in towards Cologne, seeing if they can't find anything more in terms of damage. But now the group up towards Cat comes in, and the split is on its way. Steel, with a scout in hand, is the bastion of defense for this squad. He's got to find him. Gets a tag on one, but he's out of position right now as they're coming out of the apps. He manages to secure his spot, and he does so much damage, but damage is not a kill. There's even a further scout tag. So 3 players are incredibly vulnerable at this point. The HE might actually find damage. It comes in, it finds one. There's Naf out of play. Now this is possible. Pistols out. And Grim and Twist say no. Not today. Not today. Grim with 4 kills, 21-5 now on the map, and he's looking to sail his way into the finals.
It does look like they are going to be reaching that point in such a convincing fashion. Another pause being called in for by Chaos, but it's getting a little bit late at this point, and they aren't going to be looking at a full buy. Will they force up and try and just start winning back now, or are they willing to take an eco and play for an overtime needing 12 rounds in a row? I don't know what the correct decision is. It depends really what they want to do right now. If they want to try and stop it before Team Liquid can actually get onto map and series point, or if they want to just get those guns out and see if they can start at that point clawing their way back in, which to be fair was working for them on Inferno for a while.
Yeah, it did work. Unfortunately, they just haven't had that initial round yet, and they don't have the cushion to get to it, right? So at this point, you're going to be allowing map point up, and then you're expecting to win 12 rounds in a row to take it to overtime. That seems like a far-flung possibility. They'll go for a bit of a nade stack in this round. Hey, why not? Throw a bit of a Hail Mary, so to speak. No one's there, so Hail Mary lands in the end zone with no one around to catch it from either side. And at this point, they've full stacked A. Meanwhile, Liquid are starting to poke towards the apartments, might find ground on towards B, and if they do, well, it's all over. They've got this courtyard controlled. They've got a player down underpass. If they don't feel any pressure whatsoever, maybe they just poke their toes into B to see what's going on and realize, hey, we can just secure map point like this. Oh, one player's been spotted. Steel might be punished, but Stewie's distracted from the window. This could get a bit risky. He's still doing damage, and he's now located multiple players, so that might be tipping off Liquid as to what's going on here. What kind of shenanigans are afoot? John G gets 1 kill, though, and maybe these shenanigans might have some success.
Yeah, that was despite him being mollied out of position right there. They're able to even retrieve the MAC-10. It was Steel who jumps out window to pick that up. So a little bit extra to work with. Unfortunately, at this point, making the incorrect decision. They've decided to initially stack those 3 players up towards B. They do actually begin to rotate pretty early, though, afterwards. And with Team Liquid taking their time, there will now be 4 players in position to try and hold this down. But it doesn't seem like it's really going to be much of a threat considering how little weaponry they have available. Lige, Naf, and Grim, they've combined for the kills so far, and it doesn't look like Leech is going to be able to do much at all. As we expected on the eco, it does go the way of Liquid. It certainly got a little bit shaky there, as you said, when they started running into a bit of a stack on mid. Stewie nearly got caught off guard, but once he spotted more than 2 players at that point, just made the call for them to group back up and ensure that they took that A-bomb site together. And indeed, 15-3, as you had pointed out, and now needs to be 12 in a row from Chaos just to send it into an overtime, not even to get the victory. And then they also need to get the win in the overtime and then take it onto a third map and get the victory there. So, yeah, it's a very daunting task right now that Chaos are facing off against.
This is a Herculean labor to ask of them. We'll see if they can achieve it. Molly down, that might separate out a little bit of this attack, but no, they're just going straight through it. Full confidence, no fear. They're flying into the site. Steel does get 1, but he's lost John G in turn. And he's now mollied out. There's smokes, there's mollies, there's everything around him. Zeppa, though, is at his back, and Zeppa's doing the work. It's enough. They've got it. Chaos Look, the journey of 1,000 miles, it starts with one single step. They've just taken this step. Still 11 more very large steps to take. But at least they can say they've gotten one round on defense here.
Yeah, I don't think that's what their goal would have been, rather, coming into this map. Definitely wanting a lot more than that. It's, I mean, it's a start. You have to look at it that way, but as we said, such a long road ahead of them right now. Vanity gives them the opening kill there, actually, with the Yop. Kind of surprised Naf just went straight in for that peek. I believe having a deagle to see if he can maybe actually get that opening pick. It doesn't work out, and at this point, with just a few pistols available for Liquid and the Kevlar, it seems like they're kind of just taking fights everywhere, trying to see if they can catch any of those Chaos players slightly out of position, but it's not happening. They all get cleaned up, not a single casualty from Chaos, despite a couple of those players actually being tagged down low. 15-5.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here to paint the way that Chaos get back into this. We saw this looseness creep in for Liquid at the end of the previous map. It's the classic curse. You get towards map point, you get towards 14, 15 rounds, and suddenly maybe your foot just edges off the gas pedal just that little bit. That lets Chaos start to catch up. Now, do I think Team Liquid are going to allow 10 rounds of easing off the gas pedal? Probably not. But Chaos could start to make us believe, and they're going to be playing fearless right now because what do they have to lose? Well, the event, but in this instance, it's already seeming like a foregone conclusion. So they have nothing left to lose, and that does make a team somewhat dangerous. They go for aggressive mid play this time. No one dies as a result of it, but Liquid are pushed back, so they can't take that mid control. They don't know if someone's fast catted. They don't know if someone's aggressive up by the boxes. There's a lot of things that could be going on here. What it is as a setup is you got Vanity watching down mid with the AWP, and then you've got Zeppa perched up to watch the underpass. And Elige, well, he's coming to the underpass. Zeppa could have this. There's no way Elige checks up straight up. Is there? No. He is dead. He is dropped. Nice kill and a follow-up as well as the setup works to perfection. And at this point, Liquid are now down 2 players, trying to retake some space. The one thing they have working in their favor is how far NAF has gotten forward on A.
Yeah, but it really shouldn't allow for them to do too much. The player in towards the steps there, being Vanity, doesn't really need to give too much away, especially now as he sees the smokes coming over. Having the 5-on-3 at this point, they can afford to just play for the retake. As I say that, though, they are taking fairly aggressive stances. He was able to actually find the initial kill there, but quickly traded back by Vanity. He even doubles down and just keeps on fragging. Naf falls to the op as well. That's 4 for Vanity in that round. Chris was able to open it up early on as well, as we see a 6th for Chaos. I don't know, it's kind of heartbreaking because we didn't see them start getting really anything really going back on Inferno until it was too late. And it's just hard to, at the moment, start believing that it's any different right now. But we'll see if they can keep it going once they start reaching double digits or so. That's normally when I start believing that it is possible. And this round, at least, should be pretty easy for them. Only a few upgraded pistols. Not even really any nades apart from a single flash being bought by Stewie. So there really shouldn't be much trouble for Chaos in this round. This is one that they likely should be aiming to take as cleanly as possible.
See, I choose to completely suspend my sense of disbelief and just go all in on this being an overtime game. That way I can be properly disappointed if it doesn't work out. 2 players down. Speaking of not working out, this setup has not worked out at all for Chaos. Sense of disbelief maybe returning to me. We've got some kills coming in. Here's the response. Steel wants to take some aggressive positioning in towards the apartments, and he's going to be able to be fair. There's a smoke that allows it. The question is, what can he do with this? Well, he can confirm that they're not going fast into B, which lets his 2 remaining teammates focus elsewhere. There are too many angles to watch. Zeppa, he wants to poke top mid, but there's a player coming out underpass, and the timing doesn't work, and he is exterminated. So now a 2v4, and what a way it would be to lose it with the pistols in hand. Vanity wants nothing to do with that. He's going to get the kills with the P250, but there's a player all the way around to take it. He has no idea. No. He still gets the kill. Vanity taking matters into his own hands. He wants to will them to victory, whether his teammates will come along with him or not, but now he's gone. It's Twist with no armor, 12 health, 2 kills, a deagle, and no control of the bomb. Certainly, Steel should be able to win this out, but he has to be able to figure out the positioning, has to be able to suss it out from Twist here, and in the meantime, Twist, he's going to get himself an AWP.
Oh, with the 12 health as well, that could be so useful. For now, though, just sticking to that deagle as he moves in. expecting that corner certainly is a possible position for Steel to be positioned at, but he doesn't have the time to go and clear it out. He just has to take the bomb and with that try and move back towards the site, but doing so slowly it may leave him caught in the open. And indeed, just as he begun to move around the box, Steel gets vision and he won't be missing that shot. Oh, that is that round was just crazy, man. I don't even know what to say. The 2 kills through the smoke there from Vanity to start pulling it back for them. Then somehow Naf isn't able to hit the deagle shots. He gets a mad flick on Naf. And it comes down to such a crazy 1v1 as well. Chaos, sure, they've kept themselves alive for now, but considering what Liquid went into that round with, it shouldn't have gotten anywhere near that close.
We've now had, what, a 4K and a 3K in back-to-back rounds with Vanity. He's changing from Vanity. He's becoming the Manity. We'll see if that's enough. He's got to have a lot more juice in the tank to have any hope. Jonji's now out. Went for the aggressive play top mid, got caught in the smoke. He's exterminated. It was a risky play. It was a risky gambit. Okay, that's even better. Elige tapping through. Vanity traces the tracers. He finds their way back to the source, and he plugs that particular source right up with a shot from the AWP. Now, Chaos have evened up the numbers, and Vanity has a player isolated top mid. Grim could be vulnerable. There's no one here to support him. No one here to throw a flashbang or a smoke for him. He's got to do it himself. But he can just sit. He can wait. He can wait for his teammates to work through underpass. He can wait for them to find some positioning and bail him on out of here. And that's what he's going to do. And in the meantime, the AWP has left, so he's actually fine. He's been left alone to his own devices and towards mid. And it seems like those devices for Liquid are going to be centered around the A-bomb site.
Yeah, and with a smoke and I believe 2 flashes right there, they were actually able to pull 3 players over to B. As you said, pulling the AWP away from window and giving Grim some room now as well to potentially move back down towards connector, which likely is to be the goal considering the rest of his teammates are now ready for this A execute. And it's only 1 player in towards jungle. Leaf is going to be left alone to hold this one down with a single flash. So very likely at this point, try and maybe get a bit of damage into the smoke, but he just really needs to stay alive so that they're going to have the numbers for this retake.
He's found the gap, to be fair, but he knows that they know. There's a gap available, and they're not going to test him there. Vanity, though, gets another kill. This has been the story of the last few rounds, is Vanity dragging his team through victory. That's a nice catch for Leaf. He finds the timing onto Grim. Now they know they're relatively secure. The remaining 2 players are towards site. Twist, big kill, but can they trade him? They know he's stuck here towards Tetris. It doesn't matter if you know where Twist is. He's still going to kill you. Now both players are in this position, and time is whittling preciously low, but Naf eliminated. Twist's position known. They should be able to get this, and it's Vanity to secure it. A defuse on another multi-kill round for Vanity to claw them back into this game. He's waited a while to show us what he could do, but now that he's revealing the potency of that AWP, it is something to behold.
Yeah, that's actually put him up now as the top fragger over on his team. And considering he had such a slow start, that's fantastic to see. As you said, these past 4 or 5 rounds from him have been insane. But he needs to keep that up. He needs the rest of his teammates as well to step up so that they can bring this back to an overtime. But slowly but surely, they are building it up, just as we seen on Inferno. Unfortunately, on Inferno, they did end up falling short in the end. Will we see any difference here is the question. Liquid with a pause, understandably wanting to have a bit of a chat before they buy up. And they will have enough to get everything they want pretty much, but a couple players being maybe slightly low, they want to decide exactly which utility they want to, which nades and such they want to pull out on towards NAF. I guess depending on what way they want to approach this round. And he just goes for a smoke and a flash. So yeah, nothing crazy, a pretty good buy overall for Liquid. As Chaos, can they keep this up? Vanity still rocking the up, of course. Plenty of nades for them as well. They aren't really lacking anything, and that's what you'd expect. They only need to keep enough money to be reinvesting in the current round all the time because they lose one and it's over anyway.
I think it was also a great time to take a pause from the mental side of things, right? You've got Moses, the new coach. It's time for him to voice his opinion and be like, all right, guys, we were crushing them. We just need 1 more round. Don't let this slip away. And Naf is not going to be part of that 1 round. He's not going to be part of that solution. There's going to be a spam through, but there's a second kill for Leaf. He prevents them from dropping down onto his head. This is a very awkward duel, but it does at least last long enough that Leaf can get another kill. Problem is, his teammates couldn't do anything. So Leaf's found 3. That leaves Jonji and Vanity. Now, Vanity has been the clutch god, the multi-fragger in these last few rounds. They need another one out from him. Jonji misses his spray entirely. And that leaves everything up to Vanity. This time, even more pressure than the previous. The smokes will have faded on the bomb, and Vanity's going to go looking for this kill. Twist up by the default box under the balcony. Vanity's not aware of it, and he's dead, and that's the game, folks. Twist secures it. Team Liquid win it 16-8. That pause, exactly what the doctor ordered to get them back on track and prevent this comeback from being a real threat.
Yeah, just an absolutely incredible performance by Liquid. There was only really a few small moments throughout, not even just that map, but the whole series where it was seeming even possible for Chaos. And even then, it was always kind of, okay, it's possible because they're fighting from behind. Liquid, they just controlled that at all points, and unfortunately Chaos weren't able to get into it. As we had said, coming through with the exact same veto as the previous matchup between these two teams, and it ends up pretty much the exact same way as well. So of course that means Liquid, they do move on to the finals, but they don't quite have their opponent yet. That EG versus Furia game, I think, was 13-10 there a second ago, now actually being 14-10 for EG, so it looks like they could also be on track for a 2-0 potentially.
I think we could be seeing a rematch between these two squads, which would be an interesting one to watch. A hot EG taking Furia on some of their traditionally strong maps and just dismantling them, it seems, would be a good matchup for this Liquid squad. I'm very curious to see how that matches up and how Liquid bring this form that we've seen against Chaos, if they can keep that up against the Evil Genius team. But we're going to be finding out if that's the Evil Genius team. Furia, absolutely still a team that's capable of making the comeback happen, even if it seems that map points probably coming up in a second here in that game. Whatever it is, big congratulations to Liquid. They have done what was necessary to make it through to the final of ESL 1 Cologne in the NA portion. They are your first finalists, and they absolutely showed us why they deserve to be there.
Yeah, 100%. As Mike said, though, guys, do make sure to actually head on over to that main stream to catch the end of that game over there, to know who, of course, Liquid are going to be facing off against in those finals. But before we actually send it to the break, guys, if you enjoyed the stream, make sure you hit that follow button above so you know when ESL go live with any future events and games. And I guess if you enjoyed the casting as well, you can probably put Caster in the chat there to check out myself and Mike. But as I said, guys, that is it from us. Again, congratulations to Liquid, condolences to Chaos, unfortunately, as they do end their run here in the semi-finals, but I don't think that's something to cry about. Semi-finals in ESL 1 Cologne, still a pretty damn good result. That's going to be it, guys. We're going to send it over to the ads, and I hope you enjoyed.
Intel Gamer Days is on now. Whether you're looking to buy or build, now is a great time to upgrade. Get limited time offers and giveaways from top names in PC gaming. Unleash elite gaming performance with systems featuring new 10th gen Intel Core processors, and bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game optimizations for a mightier PC experience. Act now. Intel Gamer Days is only here for a limited time.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
If you want to know what you're good at and, well, also what you suck at, check out csgohub.com. Coming!
Lose this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. I want it, love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can.